Beg your pardon. You think I'm a child?
Hot coffee in a cup. Hot coffee in a cup. Yeah.
He's wearing his nicest shirt, which really isn't that different than his work shirt.
We're here to collect on a bounty. It's probably a bit over your head.
Let's see if we can find a crime somewhere.
What is this? What is this madness? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So, yes, we are finally back to playing some good old D&D. Jim is having internet issues, so he will be on if and when he can. And then Shelby is going to be late, but we have enough of the party, more or less, together here to get us going. And there are previous episodes of this campaign on YouTube. Check out that link and go see those and catch up if you haven't, or stick around and watch here. It's all fun. It's all chaotic. You can really just pick up wherever. And with that, who wants to recap? Who wants to recap what happened last session? Who wants to go over all that? It's only been a couple weeks.
Sure, why not?
Oh, all right, Sam. All
right.
Do tell. Spin us some yarn, Sam. Spin us some yarn about...
Where last we left off, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, what happened was that the party finished mentally breaking a city guard to the point where as soon as they arrived back at the train station, the poor gentleman attempted to retire with grace and dignity. And they were kind enough to, freshen up his clothes for that endeavor, trying to be nice. Rinningham decided to fight the system once again, which resulted in the party being asked to go to the police station, or the guard station.
Being oppressed.
We were interrogated.
Questioned.
Everyone...
You were questioned.
Interrogated.
Without counsel present.
That's right. We were not advised of our rights. Without being advised of their rights, the party was interrogated. Miranda was not read, so all that evidence is getting thrown out. No, I'm kidding. But they really were interrogated, each individually. It went varying shades of good to disastrous. Bob escaped from interrogation because he smartly became a dog. Rinningham again decided to fight the system and snatched defeat from the jaws of victory and was escorted to a cell with shiny bracelets on after meeting his match. I think she had 3 plumes on, 3 very fancy plumes on her helmet. A very well decorated goblin who was amazing. Yes, and where we last left off, the rest of the party watched Rinningham being escorted away. And that's where we left off, trying to determine whether or not we wanted to attempt to jailbreak or leave him to his fate.
Okay. That about covers everything that's going on. You guys look as Bob just kind of sits there, his tail just kind of going slowly back and forth and back and forth. Wish he was here, because I think he's halfway through his wild shape already. Give or take. So, Rinningham, you are being taken down the hallway, and your compatriots can see you being escorted.
I make very pointed looks at each and every one of them, like, you're gonna let them just take me? Just walk away with me? Fight the system. With my eyes. I say that with my eyes.
Oh, so you finally you've quieted as they're taking you.
Oh, I thought I was gagged.
Were you gagged? You were gagged.
He was.
That is right. They did gag you. Oh, right.
I was gonna say, please.
Sorry, I forgot that detail.
Was
that
I
is,
not?
The well-decorated guard got very tired of his
that is right.
sass.
I forgot. Mister.
Can I understand Rinningham's eyes?
Give me an insight check.
He has very expressive eyes.
Should I roll a performance check?
Sure. Actually, you know what? Sure.
Oh,
Sure.
no, come on. I was kidding.
That's a 13 for me, so I hope you roll a high performance check.
You know what? That's
Me
yeah. Go for
bard.
it. Go for it.
rolling a high performance check.
No.
That's also a 13.
So,
Right. It's
Clore,
been better.
you watch as a myriad of expressions kind of go over Rinningham's face. Some are just pure anguish and distaste and frustration. then there's also a minor sense of a plea for help. And then just as the eyes go wide of a, like, hurry up, he's pulled around a corner down the hallway, out of sight.
Theo, he's terrified. We should really do something to help him. Who can we talk to here to get our friend? He didn't mean that.
And you say that as the goblin comes up.
Are you all friends of Rinningham, Rackfordshire House the Fourth?
Whoa, easy with the word friend there. Al.
Say so.
Looks up at you quizzically.
Traveling a couple days.
We're, I would say, fast acquaintances, and we're business partners for sure.
What sort of business? You didn't mention any business.
I would take it that he had the same questions that I did if we were not asked about any business.
No,
were
in
asked
fact,
if
he
we were
didn't
traveling
answer
together.
nearly any questions at all.
Oh, well, why don't
his-
you let me answer the questions right now, and then you can just let him go.
No.
He's a
See,
little tough to deal with.
My men questioned each of you, yes?
Yes, very
That's
politely and respectfully so.
Okay. And so we have your statements, and once we get our statement extricated from your friend,
Well, you see,
They can try.
Well,
They can try.
oh no. Well, you see, we kind of have places to be. I mean, we were traveling when all of this business went down, and obviously all of our statements, I'm confident will match up. So I don't know why his would be any different. Is there anything that we can do to speed the process up? I mean, can I talk to him and try and get him to just answer your questions, and we'll be on our way?
She looks at you, kind of looking up, because she's, all of knee-high. Give me a persuasion check.
I dramatically resist the urge to squat down to her level.
Like that meme of how to talk to
Like
short
to
people.
myself.
That's a reference, that one.
All right, we are at a bad start here. That's a 12.
Can only go up from here, right?
Let's see. A 12 could be okay. I mean, we're in just a conversation right now.
Let's.
No. If anything, letting you all walk feels to be against my better judgment, but seeing as I have no real reason to detain you.
Also, B is hysterical.
I'm so sorry. I just moved.
But no, don't apologize. B is having an absolute blast, clearly. Everyone, this is B the cat. You've met Gandalf
Yes,
now, you've met B.
Professional menace, and she's trying to eat my headphones.
They taste good. Come on.
Of course, she's already ruined
Don't
2
you-
pairs this week.
I would say, I went through tons of headphones back in college. I would just eat right through them. It's just how that worked. Anyway,
So, are you all staying in town until your friend is released?
Well, again, we have, or at least I have business to attend to. I would like to. I'd like to be as much service as possible, but is that something that you need from us? Since you said you have no reason to detain us, what's your reason for detaining him? He's in the same
He
boat as us.
hasn't answered our questions. I feel like we're going in circles with this.
We could be, but I just, I know we like a start-finish line. I'd like the finish line to end up with the release of our
It really,
friends.
once he talks. And
I'm-
pending the contents of what he says versus what each of you has said, which is already under review.
I think that's fair. I don't see why the difference would be with me convincing him to talk to you, even if you're
It's-
present. I'm not asking to be alone with him.
Sir, if, hypothetically, a family member were to be suddenly killed during a gathering of friends and family,
Wait, are you
Wouldn't you
threatening me
want-
right now?
every detail from every person to acquiesce the true nature of what has taken place.
I can see your point.
Considering
my
that
point-
several hundred people are currently deceased.
That's fair.
Do you think that maybe just gathering a few extra details might help us ascertain as to what took place?
That's valid, but he was with us. I don't know what extra details he can give.
It's all about
I'll tell you what.
each-
Let's circle back to this. Hopefully you get him to talk. And Theo, do you have anything to add? Obviously, you
Let's
know.
put a pin in it. Let's just put a pin in it.
I gotta.
We come back to it.
Thank you for your service. Appreciated. You're doing a great job. All your people, they're all very thorough. The person that I got was very thorough in his questioning. He had only nice things to say about the lady up front, who I haven't had the opportunity to talk to yet. But I think you run a nice place here.
I'll tell you what. Is there anything that we can do, you know, to help you guys out? Maybe with, you know, cleanup or anything you need done, that would just, from our benefit, take our pal over there off of your, you know, bad side. Obviously he's rubbed you the wrong way, and I think we just need to, as a group, I think we can make up for it for him, and maybe, you know.
Yeah, I don't think this goblin's ever been rubbed the right way.
Heyo.
Way, all right.
Quite simply, ma'am, I'm not leaving until I find a resolution to an end for this predicament that we see ourselves in. I feel as we've done nothing wrong, and now it's getting to
give
the
me
point where it's not fair.
give me another persuasion check as you try to. You really are just trying to schmooze up this person.
I mean, I got to do something. That's 22.
I'm useless here. I don't have very high charisma.
A way that you could ease things along.
Yes. Me and my compatriots, we don't have a lot of talents, but there might be something that we can do to help.
She looks at each of you quizzically, and then looks at Penn. And stares at you, Clore. Theo.
How about you all come with me to my office? I think there's something we can figure out.
All right.
And takes you in the opposite direction. Starts walking in the opposite direction of where they just took Rinningham.
I turn to Penn as we're like slow walking away, and I try and whisper. I try and let her get ahead of me, and I try and whisper, "Get Bob out of here," knowing that at some point there's going to be a dog and then a full-grown man just
in person, yeah,
sitting out front of the place that we are incarcerated at.
So as you guys are heading past, you guys move past the towards the front desk, and Penn, ma'am, can I take the dog out for a walk real fast? It's been a couple minutes, and it might be time for him to not make a mess on your floor.
That would be appreciated.
And so Penn just kind of walks off, and Bob just quietly follows. Hey, the two people who aren't here.
That's right. Triple solve.
All right.
That's thinking.
Almost.
So we're gonna pause here. Stuart, the moment you are taken around the bend of that hallway,
What are they doing to me?
you notice that what was clear conversation suddenly becomes muted and muffled, as if it's coming through like a thick layer of like cellophane. You can kind of make out that there are syllables, but no words. But when the guards...
As soon as they're around the corner?
As soon as you're around the corner.
Huh.
But the guards, as they are chattering with each other of like, this little idiot's gonna get in for a world of hurt. You can understand them, clear as day. But the voices that you were listening to of your friends immediately turn into this muffled, cellophane-y type sound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as you go, they lead you down a winding kind of set of corridors. And I need you to roll me a wisdom save.
Sure.
Love where this is going.
Hey, all right. I'll take
What
a
is
nat
it?
20 on the roll.
Oh,
What? The first nat 20 of the night? Heck,
That was quick.
And funnily enough, my wisdom save is a -1. So I was saved by the
Yikes.
nat 20.
You basically were saved by the nat 20. So, as you go through the hallways, you notice that every time you take a turn, the hallway behind you becomes blurry
Ooh.
and hard to discern what's taking place. And it's really as soon as you just pass through the next, like, what was fine brick wall, suddenly just, it's a matte color. You can make out where the floors are and the walls are and the ceilings are. However, you are able to kind of sort of keep pace of whether you've turned left, whether you've turned right, skipped different hallways. Later, if necessary, a survival check, you should be able to get a rough idea of where.
Yeah. How to get back to the main entrance.
Yeah. If you want, you can roll a survival check now, and it might facilitate your check later.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and pre-buff my survival check here. That's a 14.
Okay. Before they finally bring you to a hallway that's dark, and you can roughly make out faint lights as they kind of walk down the hallway. These squared out sections, and you can see these blurry humanoid shapes moving behind them. And the guards walk up to one of these spaces that doesn't have a light on, and just kind of like shucks you inside. And as they do, their voices and all the murmurings that they're talking about, all mundane, like, oh, what they're having for lunch, like, oh yeah, we're gonna, wait till the commander gets a hand of you, and blah blah blah. Nothing of consequence, and you're gagged anyway. Suddenly, all of that muffled. And looking out, you can make out rough humanoid shapes, but you can no longer tell which guard is which. It's a very simple cell.
Yeah.
Got a cot kind of carved out of stone. It's got a very simple, like, straw pillow and like a sackcloth style blanket. More just to keep your, if there was wind blowing, it might keep a little bit of the chill off, but it's really just to say they gave you a blanket. And in the corner, there's a rather nasty looking open hole with a grate on top of it. And a dim light from the ceiling.
Okay. So, did they remove manacles, gags? Am I still bound?
You unfortunately right now are still bound.
Okay.
And now,
well, so it wasn't like a door that they opened and shoved me in. It was just kind of like a portal, for lack of a better term, that I walked through and it just shut off.
Similar to the ones down the rest of the hallway. It just kind of like,
interesting.
You pass through it and suddenly.
Okay, so what I want to do is, the manacles are metal, right?
Yes.
I would like to just sit on the ground, and with my back, if I push up against the little area that I walked through, is there resistance, or is it just
there's resistance. It's it's like a pillowy kind of give. The more you push into it, the more it seems to push back, but it's not
Newtonian prison door.
Kind of like that would actually be a good description of it. But if you lean into it, it's softer than leaning against stone, but not exactly comfortable.
Okay. Well,
you can kind of feel the energy kind of rippling against your back.
Does it? Is there any kind of abrasion? Like if I rub against it, can I feel my clothes pull on places that aren't as smooth?
Kinda, in a vague kind of like force is pressing less against your clothes and more just against your skin directly.
Are there other walls? Like what are the other
So you
spaces
have
look like?
smooth brick walls that are on both sides and into the back. The floor is appears to be a single slab of some material, probably stone. The ceiling has a similar material, except in the dead center, there's a circle. It's dim lit inside.
Mm-hmm. Is there? You said that there was a cot with a sheet.
Mm-hmm.
What's the cot made out of?
It's carved out of the wall. It's stone.
Ah. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna. I guess I'll just kind of sit there with my back up against the portal side. The side that has just a little bit of give.
Okay.
And I'm just kind of whistle. Just kind of whistle a tune.
Whistle a tune through your gagged mouth.
Hum. I'm gonna hum a tune. I'm gonna hum a tune.
What? What? That's what I was waiting. On the road again. I can't wait to get on the road again. Ah, perfect. All right. We're going to jump back to Theo and Clore.
Well, the buddy cop comedy no one ever wanted.
Coming to you this summer, Theo and Clore. One's a straight-laced country boy. The other is a wild-eyed kid from the mountains. And they get in the face of the law. Something. I am trying to come up with a bit as we go, and it's not going smoothly. Anyway,
Insert Starsky and Hutch reference.
basically.
Clore trying to slide across
or Smokey and the Bandit, or something, because not gonna lie, one grew up in the middle of the mountains, the other grew up in the middle of a farm town. Like, it's not that far off, guys. All you need is Timothy Oliphant, and suddenly you guys are in Justified. So,
We always need Timothy Oliphant. I don't know what you're talking about.
if we can get him as a guest star on this,
I would be happy with that.
Me
Is
too.
it
That
the
would
point
be
where
awesome.
we're gonna say we made it?
Yeah.
I want to ask him about Live Free or Die Hard.
Definitely Die Hard.
Oh. Why would
Just
you make? Why would
Just
you?
specifically what he was thinking. I mean, yes, Maggie Q, but also
Every session, you find a new way of breaking me, and anyway, I
So
did
we're
it to myself by making a Timothy Oliphant reference. So I did it to myself. I take full responsibility. Clore and Theo, you guys continue to follow this goblin, and only takes you down a hallway, makes a left, and you find a nice but plain office. There's bookshelves kind of carved into the walls. Remember, this whole structure is embedded into the western wall of the city, and so there's bookshelves kind of carved in. There's just random knickknacks, and you can see different pieces of armor just kind of resting there, some in various forms of disrepair, and a rather nice large desk with a chair suited for a goblin to sit behind it, and kind of hop over and get behind there and gestures to the two chairs in front of the desk.
Theo takes a seat.
I, of course, take a seat.
So, what can you do to help us that we can help you? I like how this sounds. You see, bargaining is a form of trade. We're trading. We're trading time and effort from you in exchange for time and effort from us. It's just the way the world works. So, you want your friend back. Your good friend. Sorry. Business partner. Brittingham, Brackfordshire House, the 4th.
And as she says that, she picks some papers up off her desk.
Brittingham arrived here just a few days ago, didn't he? Arrived in the northern gate. Had a bit of a tit for tat with the guards. He doesn't seem to be someone who is that. He seems to reject authority pretty well, and that's, well, as you can see, a little bit problematic. And then you,
Shifts through the next piece of paper.
Theo, Bayless. You arrived here with Mr. Claw a few days earlier than Rinningham.
DM, real quick.
Yes.
While we are being read these things, are all the papers like in hand or
In
are they
hand.
on the desk?
In hand.
Okay. Okay.
What? Tell me what you're thinking.
Nope. I wanted to see if there was a way I could like perceive whether or not there's a paper for Bob in her hand, or do these seem to be like the papers like from all the interrogations?
Right, they got taken from us,
or are these they already had these on us?
These look like the papers from your interrogation. However, she does seem to have some details about your arrival dates.
Yeah. Is there a way I can like look on the desk and see like what types of documents she has on us and more specifically Bob?
Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
With disadvantage because you're trying to basically discern what's going on from the back of a sheet of paper.
Oh, it was on a 17. That's a 5. That's a 5 with disadvantage.
Oh no.
The most you can tell is that she's got quite a few papers that she's reading off of.
Okay. I guess I'll just sit through this and hope she doesn't know about Bob.
A tiefling?
Yes, that's 10.
Arrived shortly before you all did. And then they just kind of floated around town, from what I can tell, place to place. And I wonder, what the four of you have to do with each other in terms of business, as not a single one of you came in on a business-related charter. Your paperwork was all for visitation. You're all from different places, and you all came at different times. Now, I do have to say, the arrival of certain guests to our illustrious city is rather suspect, all things considered.
I would like to turn this opportunity to my good friend Theo, who is very good at truthful accounts of recent history. So, Theo, would you please explain how we all ran into each other?
So, me and Clore were, well, ma'am, as I told the gentleman who was questioning me, my purpose for being here, and Clore was with me, was to get started at the Adventurers Guild. So, when Clore and I were looking for the guild, there was a commotion outside, which I'm sure you are aware of.
Oh, yes.
The incident with the tower.
Yes.
Right.
Well,
Well,
under investigation.
oh, good. Well, I wish you guys luck with that.
You guys were
Clore.
there, weren't you? At the towers.
Well, yeah. I mean, Clore and I went to go and see what we could do to help, and we ran into Penn and Rinningham there.
She kind of looks at you, gives like a squinty-eyed, like,
Now, I understand that you're here to be noble, join the Adventurers Guild, and stake your claim on the planet, as
don't
most
think that-
adventurers are. Now,
Nobility don't have anything to do with it, ma'am. Honestly, to be perfectly honest with you, it's purely business for me. I'm trying to
literally
make money
ran
for my
to a
family.
burning building with no reward of your own.
Because I wasn't injured and I could help people, nor was Clore, and we could assist in some way, shape, or form, we thought.
That's
In fairness, I did not want to go to the building, but Theo said that we could help.
And did you?
We could, so we tried.
We tried. There was a lot of chaos there. We managed to convince Penn, who was rendering medical aid, and Rinningham, who was there on the scene to run. And at the same time, there was a little girl I inquired with earlier to see if she was okay, but I didn't get any sort of follow-up about that. Got her out of the hubbub as well and gave her over to one of the guards.
Interesting. Continue with your story.
And that's how we all met. And then we went to the Bloody Shield, and
Ah, the Tabaxi police. They're very entertaining.
They are. They're really nice folk. I ain't never seen tabaxi before. It's been quite interesting seeing all the different types, all their different fur patterns. And, they're all so nimble and light on their feet. It's really something. We went there to help in any way that we could. And Penn wound up helping doctor people. He's really good at that.
I see. It's taken quite a while now with that dog, but all right.
Well, the thing with animals, ma'am, is that even if you have
Oh,
a
don't
way
worry.
with them,
I
they
have pets
much
of my own. I understand. It's just.
Well, did you want Penn to join us?
Oh, it would.
I figured Penn could just take care. I mean, we're kind of in the back. I don't know if
It's
Penn would
fine
be
for
allowed
now.
to come back.
If I deem it necessary, I can always send someone to go find them.
Fair enough.
Speaking of which, Shelby is here. So, here we go. Ground
Shelby,
control to
Darth
Penn.
Vader helmet.
Come in, Penn. Hey.
Hey,
So, to catch you up
Trying
on
not
where
to
we
go to
are.
jail.
Yes, Renningham is currently in a very interesting jail cell. You are currently outside of the guardhouse with Bob, as Bob is. You went out with the premise of Bob needs to relieve themselves as a dog, knowing that there's only so much time left with his wild shape. And then currently, Theo and Clore are having a discussion with the what appears to be like the head captain.
we're doing our best, okay?
Speaking of Jim, he's here. Oh my gosh, what is this?
Yay!
Everyone, finally, let's go. Let's boop. Let's see how this works. Let's see if this radical thing.
There, but for the glory of Comcast, go we.
Let's see.
I didn't realize the grandparentals were coming here now, today, they're here.
I see. Hello, grandparentals. We are playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I didn't mention that part either, just because I'm not gonna open that can of discussions.
Because Satan.
Yeah, because somehow math rocks equivocates to demons
Witchcraft. Duh.
and
Yeah.
It's all witchcraft.
Of course.
Something about having a sense of imagination was just lost on the older generation. I mean, you had the few standouts that wrote like Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and Lord of the Rings, but after that, they just kind of fell off. And
Yeah, but even with Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, that's when you get depressing because the only kid that lives in the end is Susan because she ditches her imagination and becomes an adult.
Whoa.
Wait, no, they all
Spoiler
died.
alert.
They all died. If they went to Narnia, they died. That was the agreement.
I thought that Susan was okay, wasn't she in the end in the book? I don't know. I'll have to
They
reread
all
it.
died in a giant train wreck.
In the train wreck.
speaking
Right.
of train wrecks, I just remember that
Spoiler
those,
alert, by the
sweets
way.
that she got.
It's
or that,
been years. I think that we're done with spoiler alerts.
She didn't
No,
have
I
the
was-
Turkish delight, Stuart. That was
Turkish delights.
yeah.
That's the sweets. Those are the
That was her little brother, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those are not that good either.
No, they're
Never
really
had 'em.
not. It's
they
not
look
worth
really
it.
good in the movie.
They look really good, but they're like tacky fruit gummies that aren't.
With like powdered sugar on them. They're not
Yeah, it's not good.
Those silly Turks. Don't even know what delights are.
Oh, that's the other part. It's not even Turkish.
So speaking of train wrecks,
Your whole life is
Right.
a lie. Yes.
my whole perception
Right.
about the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Okay. So, anyway, it's never dull. I love it. Okay,
Never straightforward.
that is also true. It's always there's always something. I love it though because it just adds to the energy. Okay, so Hen, you are currently outside with Bob, under the guise of giving Bob some time to relieve themselves. You watched as Renningham got taken around the corner, out of sight, and then you know that Theo and Clore are currently having discussion with the captain. Oh, captain, my captain. Is there anything in particular you wish to try and do?
And I'll just observe the surroundings.
Keep
Take
an eye out for
mental
anything
stock of everything I
sus-
see.
Okay. Just for you're intently doing this. So just for in general, roll me a perception check with advantage as you just kind of like intentionally just kind of watch and experience the area.
Oh boy, there's the first nat 1.
But you have advantage.
True. It's true.
9.
That's better.
Okay. It is. That is in fact better. Okay. So
Roll deal,
we will
German 1.
we will circle
German no.
yeah, that's
She said 1 earlier. It was a
conflated
reference
in your
there.
brain. It's okay. I understand. We will circle back to you, Pen, and see if you see anything. See what you can see and experience what you can experience.
Sounds good.
And we will switch back to Theo and Clore.
So, after you met everyone
And went to the
Tabaxi Tavern, what happened next? Enlighten me.
Well, the next day, we went to the Adventurers Guild, and I became a member, and I took on a
good
few
for you.
jobs. Oh, thank you. And the rest of the group agreed to help me out with the jobs that we took on. But it was kind of late in... Sorry, ma'am, didn't mean to interrupt.
What type of jobs did you take?
Well, I was looking for a cat named Smokey who's been missing for a couple of years in the direction of the mines. I felt kind of bad, looked like no one had really taken that job. Trying to find a missing painter who was
Yeah.
last seen in that same direction, and then trying to investigate the otherworldly creature that might have been responsible for the death of a woman recently.
Yes. That was a shame. We spent a lot of time trying to investigate that. And
So I was
now-
led to understand.
Yes, so how I'm going to say it again, even though I know you don't like it, but how noble of you to come in here and try to suss out the things that are taking place. We are the ones who posted that particular job as a, extension of our resources. So,
Oh, I'm awful sorry that we couldn't really help you, because after we started walking our way towards that area, that's when the problem happened with,
you were walking.
We were. I may have thought that it might have been a better idea for us to try to walk the area. That way we could look for signs of, Smokey the cat and maybe the painter, and try to find anything that had been missed.
That's several
From-
days of travel.
Yes,
Just-
ma'am.
just- Okay, just
and she just kind of looks at you and then just shakes her head and then just
continue.
Awful hardy. I don't mind being outside. I thought it was a nice enough trip, and at the time too, we were also looking for any signs, like I said, of that painter or the cat. We got to a place where we were gonna pitch up camp for the night, our whole group, and that's when, like I told your gentleman who was speaking to me, I don't think I ever got the guard's name, but the gentleman who was talking to me, that's when it happened. And then we turned our attention to trying to help.
So, please forgive me for making certain assumptions, but let's just piece a couple of things together. I understand going into this that they are circumstantial at best, but you have to understand that this is highly suspect.
Sorry, ma'am, I gotta stop you there. I don't know what the word circumstantial means.
Yeah.
So, let me rephrase then. It is suspicious, I personally find it suspicious, that the series of events that have taken place since your arrival and your subsequent involvement in those events increases my suspicion about the cause of those particular events.
So, wait a
Do you
minute. Are you
follow?
thinking that? Yes, but I guess I have to question now. Are you thinking that we had something to do with whatever happened to the tower too? Because I know
That
for a fact that
is-
Flora and I didn't.
In part of what I'm trying to ascertain, and what I can possibly get your assistance with.
And the others seemed awful surprised about it too. I would be awfully surprised myself if they had anything to do with the tower as well. None of us seem to have any idea what had happened
No,
there.
no, no. I think you help me help you. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm just telling you
So-
right now, man. That
As part of ruling you all out of the unfortunate series of events that has taken place since your arrival, we might be able to come to some sort of terms. Now, they are contingent on a particular Rinningham Rackfordshire House IV's cooperation. And Rinningham from like across the place, the hairs on the back of your neck come up.
Or Chlor leans over to Theo. Contingent means reliant upon.
Gotcha. I was just about to ask. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Carry on.
So, there are people in this town who are not so keen on talking to those of the law who might know things. However, you are also you're a foreigner, which makes it also a little bit difficult, but my thoughts are that if, pending Rinningham's cooperation, and we will pass this by him pending your approval, that we can, how do I put this? We're going to deputize you.
Let me.
What?
You said it too late. Before you do that, I'm sure all of us, Rinningham included, would love to find themselves serviceable to this end. Because it would, as you stated, prove ourselves to be uninvolved with all situations, and also allow us to help the fine people that work for our safety. I just ask you that you let me and Theo be the ones to convince Rinningham to go along with this, because clearly, he has been rubbed the wrong way and is proving difficult to work with.
No, unfortunately, that part you have 100% wrong is he was not, in fact, rubbed the wrong way at all. He was given multiple opportunities to cooperate without any conditions on his cooperation, just like the rest of you.
I am in
I'm
no
sorry.
way insinuating that is on you. As I'm sure you surmised, he leans over to Theo and that means she figured out that he is difficult to deal with of his own volition. And my good friend Theo here has found a very concise way of communicating with Rinningham in a way that he is more understanding to.
We're going to pause there, and we're going to switch to Rinningham. You hear in the back of your head a curt, but not loud. Actually, it's more like you get the sensation of the request to stand.
I just feel like standing.
It's in the back of your head. You feel a urge, let's see, similar to when you lived with your parents and you were spending time around other Verdan, how you can communicate with thoughts and feelings. You receive.
So I recognize it.
You recognize the sensation.
So I'm gonna stand.
Okay. And as you do, you notice very quickly there's a humanoid shape that's been basically standing behind you the whole time, and they're about 5 feet tall.
Okay. The that one behind me, the opaque, can't really see through, semi-translucent. Okay.
Yep. You can see a humanoid shape, and they gesture against the wall, and you watch as the material kind of becomes more transparent, and you can see what appears to be a much taller than you, Verdan.
much taller than me?
Yeah, like 5 foot.
Oh.
The audacity of this bitch. So I look him up and down with kind of an incredulous look. And I'm like, what do you, I mean, because I'm still gagged, right?
Yep. But
I'm like, what do you want? Oh, but they're also Verdan. So I reach out with my mind and say, what?
and you get the image in your head of you stick out your arms.
So I stick them out. Are they clasped in front of me or behind me?
They're in front of you.
Okay, so I just stick them out.
And you feel as they kind of pass through, there's a tingling sensation on your hands as you pass through where the barrier is less prominent.
Mhm.
And as you pass through, you watch as the shackles glow faintly, and then they kind of drop off into this Verdan's hands.
Nice. As soon as they drop off, I reach up and undo my gag and say, well, it's really about time.
They just look at you. It hasn't been that long, has it?
It's been long enough. I want to know why I'm back here and on whose authority. Nothing I have done has been wrong. I was prematurely removed from my companions.
Would you like something to eat?
Something to eat.
You're gonna be here a
Yes.
while. Do you want
Why
something
would
to
I
eat?
be here a while?
I don't make the rules. So you want something to eat?
Suspiciously. Yes.
And he gestures on the thing again, and it goes opaque, and you see him walk away. A couple minutes later, comes back, gestures up, and you watch as the thing fades again. And he passes you a tray, and the tray has what appears to be some like bread and cheese and some meat that looks like poultry of some sort, chicken or turkey.
Okay. And he just passes that tray through the through the portal or through the wall, I guess.
Yep. Through the barrier, for lack of better phrasing.
Well, I'll just take it and go, this isn't what I would normally eat. I mean, the chicken looks a little bland, and honestly, there's not a lot of vegetable options. I could go with a little bit of fresh fruit. Do you have any beverages? Or am I just expected to choke down this dry chicken? Well, I assume to be chicken.
Would you like water, or would you like some milk?
Do you have any wine?
I'm going to say no. That's not an accurate assessment, but I can't give it to you.
Why can't you? Are you a prisoner here too? Or a slave? Do they employ you?
Kinda, no, yes.
Kinda no, yes. Interesting. So you're a slave. Okay. Well,
That's the no.
rather unfortunate.
The no was on this.
I mean, assumedly a free man would be able to, as you say, get me some wine. But apparently your masters would rather keep me from enjoying this honestly paltry poultry. And I guess I'll just, you said water? Is it mineral water?
Oh my god.
Is it at least from a spring?
To my understanding, it would be from the local well.
Well.
No, just the one.
Obviously the one.
I mean, arguably, it's probably from the same source underneath the city, but that's...
And I would
Oh.
surmise by your lack of evident hospitality that it is tepid.
I can get it chilled.
Whoa! Aren't I being served? Yes. Chilled water. Thank you.
You're welcome. The wall goes opaque again, or translucent again, and he heads off. A couple moments later, is back with moderately sized mug and passes it through.
I had tried the chicken since then. It's dry, isn't it? It's dry chicken.
It's actually not half bad.
Oh.
It's actually got it's got more than no seasoning. The bread has like different little seeds and grains that are kind of in it. It's like halfway decent bread.
Multi-grain.
And the cheese is it's actually like a halfway decent hard cheese.
So it's pretty Gouda.
Unbelievable.
It is pretty Gouda. It is pretty Gouda. You know what? I'll allow it. It's pretty Gouda.
So as he gets there, say through a mouthful, you know, I'm rather surprised by this fare, judging by how readily you were to serve me at least something passable. I was expecting a little more dry. My compliments to the prison chef?
These are just holding cells. You're not in the prison.
Oh.
You're not a prisoner yet. You have to be
I'm
tried.
being held.
Yes, you are being held, but you are not a prisoner.
Why?
My understanding is lack of cooperation on your part for an investigation that's ongoing, which arguably threatens the lives and safety of many around us.
Who's making that argument? I would argue that I am no threat to anyone. As you can see, I've clearly been detained.
You personally
against
may
my
not be
will.
the threat, but information you may or may not hold.
Do
May
you
hold the
honestly
key.
think I have any information?
Not my job to worry about that. It's just
What
my
is
job
your
to
job?
take care of you and
Take care of me. Well, then I suggest that you recollapse this portal and let me go. That would be taking care of me indeed.
just kind of looks at you. And you can feel in the back of your mind a familiar sense of, but really though, my hands are kind of tied. I'm doing the best I can.
So then I try to communicate as well with like a, but really, why are you here?
They felt that a fellow Verdun might help calm some tension. There aren't many of us left in the city, if I'm honest. Not since the fall.
And why would they be employing the Verdun?
Well, for the few instances like this that we need them, and also because we're just good at things that we do. And so, with that, I can't force you to do anything. I'm not here to force you to do anything. There will be people who can and will try to force you to cooperate. How you interact with them is up to you, but I will come back and bring you food. I'll bring you water. I'll even hang around for some conversation. And if you decide that you want to even talk to me about things that have gone on, and I can take your statement if that becomes a more comfortable, amicable situation, then fine. If you choose not to talk to me, that's fine too. My understanding is that your friends are currently speaking on your behalf, trying to speed this process along. I feel like we can speed everyone's process along if you just cooperate.
I've been cooperating this whole time. Nothing I've done except not necessarily, well, not even necessarily. I just refused to be manhandled and talked down to. Obviously, a little bit inescapable physically, but I feel as though your goblin, which, why, was more than annoyed with me just from the fact that she had to interrogate me.
Where are you from?
Where are you from?
I grew up here.
I grew up over there. I don't see how that's relevant or important.
I'm more just curious, if anything.
Well, curiosity killed the... What did they say? Well, chicken. I'll take a bite of chicken.
In the back of your mind, you can feel the sensation of a shaking head. And he just kind of looks at you, but you can feel it. And it's just there, present, this shaking head sensation. Sir, I unfortunately have to go and tend to some other duties, but I will be back in a little while. And if I hear anything about what's to happen next before anything happens to you, I will be sure to let you know.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And with that, he gestures against the wall again, and it goes.
Before he as he's gesturing, I kind of toss a piece of the chicken into, like, up against it to see if it either passes through or if it meets the same kind of resistance it would if I leaned against it.
So like while it's
I make it look like I was trying to lift the chicken up to my hands and it just kind of left.
Like as it while it's still like talkable, like see-through.
Yeah. Like as we're talking and before I not dismiss him but signal the end of the conversation, I kind of lift a chicken but like kind of let it go and let it fly towards I think the resistance barrier is.
Okay. And you watch as it kind of quickly loses its almost all momentum. And it slowly, what should have been able to go straight through, kind of slowly curves and doesn't pass about halfway through where you were leaning, and it just kind of hits the ground.
And okay.
Yep. No noise. No visual sensation.
Does the other Verdan respond at all?
Not really.
He doesn't
looks
notice
at
it?
you.
Okay.
No, I wasn't. He didn't really. You're just eating chicken. You just kind of like, and just kind of flick a piece. It just happens. Like, doesn't think anything of it.
Okay.
Well, till later. And then fades it off. And then you watch as his shape kind of walks away. And then a few seconds later, in the back of your head, you just get a sensation of, it's a sense of calm, but it's more of like a, hey, you should calm down, kind of. It's a request for calm, as opposed to anything else. And we're gonna jump now to Penn and Bob. Penn and Bob, you guys are outside the guard. I'm gonna say guardhouse, but it's really like more of like a station. And Penn, you've been kind of just keeping an eye on things around, and some of the guards just kind of like look at you guys kind of funny as they walk in, and some of them are, as they come out, they're like, aren't you supposed to be? And they just kind of like shrug because you're clearly not going anywhere. However, much else, there's nothing too crazy going on. Give me another perception check. And I guess from both of you, Jim, how long does your wild shape last again? Is it an hour?
Something like an hour. It was not a particularly long period.
You're nearing that 1 hour.
Okay. Woof woof.
Penn, how do you interpret that woof from Bob?
Can we stick in the well, boy?
Woof. Woof woof woof.
Lassie.
We have to save the chickens?
Lassie.
Okay, would you believe me though that I've never seen Lassie?
I've only seen it like once. I saw where the red fern grows. That
Really?
was, yeah.
That was
but
depressing.
It was depressing. I don't know why they
That
consider
was
that a
Bridge
kid's
of
movie.
Terabithia levels of depressing.
Okay, which was worse, where the red fern grows or Old Yeller?
Where the red fern grows.
Where the
Yeah.
red fern grows.
Because
Okay.
on top of the poor dogs, on top of that, like there's just so much like familial strife going on between a lot of the side characters. It's actually like
There's so much abuse.
there is. It's like, oh, there's these two kids who are clearly bullies, and it turns out that it's like, no, actually, they're traumatized from their dad. But the movie just glosses over that, and just shows it to you, and then does nothing else. Anyway, before we go on a tirade about, portrayal of parenting in old movies, Penn, perception check. What's going on?
I got a dirty 20.
Yeah.
A dirty 20.
Well done.
As you've looked around, you've noticed a little something. Something that
Yeah.
might strike you as a little odd.
Okay.
Maybe it doesn't. But there has been a man dressed in, it looks like a lot of the engineering style clothes that you saw a lot of the people who are heading west. However, this one, his clothes aren't dirty. It's the same type of uniform, the same type of stuff, but it's considerably cleaner. And he seems to have walked the same kind of path a couple of times. He's walked one way and he kind of goes out of sight behind, movement and people. A couple minutes later, walks back and you can tell he's like on the opposite side of the road. Just kind of like skirting across. But every so often he'll pass by and he doesn't really glance at you, but he glances at the guard building and then keeps on going. And then it'll be probably like 3 to 5 minutes later, passes back the other direction. And you're not sure if he was there when you started, but you've definitely noticed that he's there now. And he's done it at least those 3 times, and you're fairly certain it's the same guy.
Can I go talk to him?
Sure. How do you go? Like, do you signal to Bob? What are you doing?
Hey, I'm a dog.
Yeah,
I'm following.
Pat my leg and say, let's I want to look at this.
So as you guys head, he wasn't paying attention to you guys in particular, and so as you guys get across the street, you can kind of see where he's just turning around into an alley, kind of about where you were losing sight of him before. He kind of turned off to the left into an alley.
Shall we pursue him?
Woof.
All right then.
You dog, you. All right, so as you guys head back that way, there's a couple of you can tell that they're set up maybe at some point for vending. There's shelves and stuff that are currently kind of vacant. People are still kind of shuffling to and fro. You also can see kind of off in the distance, there's a little bit more commotion going on at the station as people are heading over that way, and it looks to be that there are some objects being moved out from the station area. None of it's really heading in your direction yet, but there appears to be some motion in that direction. But off to the left, there's this alleyway. And you can see a couple of spots where it kind of winds, and there are overhangs above doors. And both of you roll me survival checks.
17.
There we go. 17.
Dang.
Wow, we both did.
Yeah, that's okay. So as you guys head down this hallway, you're thinking or this alleyway, you're he was passing back and forth. So if he's been passing back and forth, then he has to you just kind of start discerning, and you're looking at the footpaths, and you can kind of see roughly where some feet marks may be that are relatively fresh. And then Bob, you with your dog scent tracking nose, oh, there's something definitely a little new. And you head down, and off to the left, you see in the back of an alleyway, there's about 4 of these guys, and they all look the exact same. They're dressed the exact same. They have the same hair color, the same shaped nose. They are 4 of the same exact looking people, and they all look half-elven with brownish reddish hair, and they all kind of turn.
Do they look like a quartet of siblings?
Give me an insight check. Sure, we'll just go for it. Give me an insight check.
Alrighty, insight. Bam. There it is. Oh, terrible one. 8.
Whatever's going on is definitely uncanny. Whether they're siblings or some other activity is afoot, hard to tell. However, there are 4 faces all looking at you, very wide-eyed, and they start sprinting down the other end of the alleyway.
Hey, come back. Woof, woof, woof,
Penn
woof.
gives chase. The interest has been piped.
All right. Cool. It's time to start a chase scene. But before we do that, we're going to pause right there at the beginning of the chase and go back to Theo and Chlor.
Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy.
So, my thoughts on the situation are that we're still going to need his statement. I answer to people, and they're going to ask me questions, and if I don't have answers to those questions, well, I didn't get to where I am by not having answers to the questions that were asked of me by those in higher places of authority. I do my job, and I do my job well, and I'm asking that the 2 of you who seem to do your jobs fairly well, you've survived, clearly, that you let me do my job and get the answers that I need so that I can answer to the people I need to answer to. I need you to understand something. None of you are citizens here. None of you have rights here. You're visitors at our discretion. That's how this works. Until you gain some sort of relationship with the city, other than visitor, it's going to be rather hard for you to avoid certain types of entanglements if you end up in a legal situation. Who's going to represent you other than yourself? How are you going to handle these different types of situations? And so if I were to hypothetically get the lot of you to work with me, I could possibly facilitate the process of you guys not having a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we're dancing around it at this point. I mean, what do you want us to do? You don't have to threaten me. I want to get out of your hair as much as you want us to be out of your hair, and if us helping you will speed that up, you point the way. You know, we have nothing to hide, clearly. So you point the way, and we'll do our best to make it happen.
So here's what's going to happen then. I am going to let you go and talk to Mr. Rinningham, but only after I talk to him first. With the premise
Should go
that
well.
you have already accepted the offer, I will assume that your horned friend outside will also cooperate with whatever we have to ask, and with that, maybe he will see things your way. If he is not persuaded, she kind of thinks for a moment. That's the hard part, you see, because protocol states that I'm not supposed to let him see any visitors till he's, well, in a state that is fit for visitors. He's not been processed in as a prisoner of any sort. He's currently in a holding cell, predominantly just for not facilitating the investigation, which puts him in direct conflict with our efforts as the legal structure of this city. And all we want is that cooperation. Now, there are times that we've found violent ways of persuading people to at least make some statement, regardless of whether or not it's truthful, and that usually comes to bite them in the back end when it's not. However, if he decides to be forthright, he can avoid such a predicament. And I hope to influence him in that way before needing to possibly have him talk to you. The problem with me having him talk to you first, I'm sure you can understand, is, well, suddenly it's suspicious. It doesn't help your current suspicion. Do you see how that happens?
I was suggesting you be there. I was in no way insinuating that I wanted secret talks with him. I'm just saying maybe a friendly face in the room would help calm him down. But you have protocols, you're the boss. I think we should cross that bridge when we get there. But I would imagine resorting to violence without going through all non-violent possibilities of calming someone down would be frowned upon regardless of the protocols. So I'll let you make your decisions. You're the boss, and I'm sure Rinningham would be happy to accommodate, knowing that there is a give and take from both sides in this agreement.
Well, sounds like we have a bit of an accord then. So, follow me. And she hops out of her chair and starts heading towards the door.
As we get up and leave, can I take another shot now that the papers are down in just seeing how detailed they are? And I don't want to take them or anything, but see how detailed they are.
Give me an investigation check with disadvantage as you're trying to do a quick glance out the door.
Would it help if Theo were busy talking to her? Because he does have a question for her, actually.
Okay, it'll be a straight roll as opposed to...
Right.
Okay, and before you
Which
do
is
your
still
thing...
Oops, sorry.
Okay, that's fine. What is your question, Theo?
So, ma'am, I do got a question here. You mentioned something about, like, who would represent us if we got in any sort of trouble here aside from us. Are there people that do representative people?
How familiar are you with legal proceedings?
To be honest, we didn't have much legal trouble where I was. At most, it would be the sheriff would throw someone in the drunk tank overnight, and then the next day they'd be out, maybe apologizing for causing a ruckus.
So, picture that instead of Mr. Drunkard sitting in the drunk tank overnight, it's like Mr. Drunkard's friend and confidant who is trying to appeal for a drunkard friend to say, oh, maybe he's not always this way, oh, he's not so bad, and tries to lessen the need for him to be thrown in the drunk tank every single time he gets drunk, and maybe only the times he gets drunk, and maybe a little bit rambunctious. Only in this case, it is to prevent you from being stuck in a prison cell for an indeterminate period of time, from my standpoint, because it's not my jurisdiction.
Gotcha. Right. And so then there's these people that you would hire on to do that for you.
Correct. You can
or
either
you can
hire
do it
them,
yourself.
Or yes, you can do it yourself. Yes.
All right.
But I would imagine that none of you have those sorts of relationships within the city, seeing as none of you have been here and could establish such a relationship with someone who would act as that representative in that form of fashion. And
I suppose my curiosity here, ma'am, is just like, what would happen if you did have someone who was an outsider, and this is an entirely made-up situation here, who needed someone to represent them? Who would they go to? Who would you recommend?
Well, that's unfortunately not
That is a very unlikely scenario. And I say that because if your advisor, your legal representative, does not show up on their own upon hearing, usually through the normal flows of things, that you are in need of assistance and representation, who's going to show up?
It seems to me kind of mighty inefficient. You'd think that those people would want more business, so they might put up some sort of advertisement all over the place, inquiring of people who might need their
When it
services,
comes to
including
direct,
outsiders.
when it comes to these sorts of agreements or disagreements or conflicts, I'm realizing that I'm about to have to go into the entire description of our legal structure, and that is
I don't
not
want to ask
something.
you of anything like that, ma'am. I promise. I'm just thinking to myself, like, it seems more akin to.
It's very expensive
special
and very
handyman.
unlikely, and you haven't passed into the. Typically, it is people who have existing business relationships or are existing citizens, of which you are neither,
I
who are
understand.
garner such representation. Sir, can you please come away from the desk?
All right, and there we go. That was my question.
So,
Yep, let's go.
Clore, what you saw, paperwork-wise, is that they have, your statements were taken on maybe 2 sheets. But looking at the stack is that there's probably 4 to 5 sheets of details on each of you. What those details entail, I mean, you can only assume based off of the fact that she seemed to know when you arrived, where you stayed, different elements of the waypoints of where you've been. And that's well before you even told her anything. So
Fantastic.
I don't like that.
All right, I'm just following now.
all right. So as you guys head through the hallways, like the different guards, like as they pass, like they all salute her. Some of them like will actually step out of the way and like properly give attention to, and then as she passes, they all just kind of keep on their way. I need you both to roll wisdom saving throws.
Okay. That's a 13.
All right.
Mine's a 22.
So, Clore, as you guys are heading through these down these hallways and kind of following her, and she's just kind of like generally gesticulating of like, oh yes, and these are some of the offices where different people they're kind of flexible spaces where they work on case notes and things, and just kind of like giving a very general curt tour of where things are going on. You notice that every time you kind of turn down a different hallway, the space behind you kind of gets blurred out. It's slightly disorienting at first, but you seem to have just enough to be like, okay, it's just kind of obfuscating kind of what's going on those other angles. Theo, I'm sorry, Theo, this is probably the most complicated structure you've ever been in.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
And every time you look back, you're like, it just all looks the same. It all looks the same. It looks like a straight hallway, or like where there's just random turns in different direct. Like, what? I thought we just came left, but there's no way to turn left anymore. Like, it just fogs out. The other thing you notice is that conversations between other guard members and things just kind of gets muffled and muted out as you turn through each one. And for you, Theo, unfortunately, the other part is that the noises that do come through sound like they're coming from the wrong direction.
So
it's very disorienting. And eventually, a lot of you stop outside you're in a dark hallway. And there's these large kind of square shapes. Kind of described this earlier with Rinningham, but these dark kind of cuts in, and you can see there's a dim light on each of them, and inside most of these are these vague humanoid shapes kind of moving behind what is a similar barrier that you can tell has been taking place behind you as you guys have been traveling through these hallways. As you guys arrive, a guard, Verdun guard, kind of also walks up, and he's about 5 feet tall, and he's like, "Oh, you're here. Well, I was about to talk with him again and see how things were going, but it appears that you have come to whatever conclusion you have, come to." And Rinningham, you get in the back of your head of, your friends are here.
I want to also, with my mind, be like, well, would you not count yourself among them?
You get a modge podge of feelings, and the first is slightly warm, like aw, but then also like the rest of it was being like
when you swim in a pool that someone just peed in. Kind of like a
sure, because then the sarcasm of the aw kicks in because that's
you realize what it is.
Oh, absolutely.
Would Clore have known the nature of like what he was supposed to feel with that wisdom saving throw? Like, would he have known like it was meant to be disorienting and meant to be?
No, you made the save, and the save like it prevents you from being completely and utterly disoriented by it. Okay. So like if you, similar to Stuart, if you want, you can roll a survival check actually to help map the way that you guys got here later.
That's a 12.
Okay.
I guess my question is, would Clore be convincing, pretending that whatever enchantment worked? I guess like is that a thing that would make sense?
You didn't feel really anything.
I just fought it off and. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It just didn't phase you as it took place. It's just, but it is what it really is that it's noticeable that the hallways behind you get obfuscated as you go around turns. It's just, that's really all it is, that it's something is happening that's noticeable. And we're going to pause there, and we're going to go back to Penn and Bob. Penn and Bob, they're about 15 feet from you, these four simple-looking lads, as they started turning and bolting. And you guys are saying you make chase. Can you roll me some initiative as we go through a chase sequence?
Oh. Ooh, that was a 6.
All right.
It was a 5.
And a 5.
Ooh,
all right.
We are awesome.
Great start.
All right. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. So you watch as the one kind of closest to you just kind of like peels through his friends first and is just like gone. And he's just like starts running full tilt, 60 feet. He's heading down this alleyway. The remaining 3, one of them is just like and just kind of like takes off after him. And the other 2 are just kind of like wide-eyed still that you guys are even there in front of them. They're about 20 feet from you. Bob, you are up. There are 2 guys about 20 feet from you, wide-eyed and braced to run. What do you do?
Woof, 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 woof. If that gets any effect.
Are you trying to intimidate? Like, what are you trying to do with your woofing?
I'm trying to be a dog barking at them.
Oh, okay. So you're just bark, 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 bark.
Yeah.
Okay. They just kind of look at you. All right. Anything else, Bob, before we move on to Penn?
Oh, I figure once that happens, I'll go back to like another form at some point in time. But right now, it's just annoying little dog. That's what I am.
You are a big black dog, like serious black dog.
Just being annoying as opposed to menacing.
Well, it's hard to be menacing when you're a small dog. I mean,
that is true.
Nobody has an obligation to take you seriously. I've forgotten what breed we've chosen, but it was something like a Jack Russell. Not exactly a terrifying animal.
That is fair. That is fair. All right, so Penn, there are these 2 guys about 20 feet from you, standing in the hallway or the alleyway. I keep saying hallway.
Penn just puts his hands out in a placating gesture and goes, "Hey, whoa, guys! I just wanted to chat. Not trying to do. Just want to talk."
And Penn takes his fingers and touches them all together and says, "Hey, I'm a walking here. What are you doing?"
Passami the strolling.
Hey, la breadstick and pasta. Hey.
Homemade marinara.
Hey, a tomato and a pasty.
Grandpa, is that you?
You're gonna break the spaghetti.
Neapolitan pizza with a mozzarella.
It's mozzarella, not mozzarella.
That's
We
our.
offended everyone that's Italian.
Yeah. I mean, of course, every terrible Italian stereotype The only way it could have been worse if you were
That's
like
me.
Fabrizio from Titanic.
Remind me, I'm going to America.
America?
R.I.P.
No,
Fabrizio.
Titanic goes to America in 5 minutes. Wow, that was overly literal. Thanks. Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna be on the to watch later. Anyway,
Give me a whole tub of mint jelly.
for those of you who aren't getting the references, these are all from Riff Tracks. Hashtag not sponsored, but oh my gosh, it's the best way to watch that movie. Brings a tear to my eye. I'm 12. I'm a big boy.
I'm disturbed.
Boy, laddie, you'll soon have angels coming out of your arse. Well, I'll have you know, I had little arse angeling this morning. Honey, that was very rude. You woke up without saying good morning to my money. All right. Before I spoil all of the amazing riffs that are that film, check that out on rifftracks.com/Titanic. Anyway, great. Oh, yeah, no, I need to finish. That's a side project. Total tangent. We're gonna stop now. Anyway, what do you do, Pen? After, oh wait, you're just like, hey, no, it's okay. Give me a persuasion check with disadvantage. You do have a yelping dog next to you.
I think I clicked it twice. 7.
Hey, the trend continues.
They're like, no. Is there anything else you do? I'll say that was part of your like move action. You can still take a standard action.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna... I mean, now I'm freaking curious. That would go poorly. Don't do that.
I'm now curious. What would go poorly?
I'm gonna cast Unseen Servant.
Okay.
Can I?
Yes.
And have
Well,
him...
Is that
Well,
a
how
ritual
far- hang
casting?
No, just control.
It is one action. Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure because you can do it as a ritual as well. So that's what I wanted.
No. Bad cat.
All right. So, are you doing that?
Yeah, and I got 60 feet, so I want him to appear, well, for me, behind them, and have him put his hands on both their shoulders and push them towards me as if someone's behind them.
I like it.
Okay. Roll me. Gosh. It has a strength score of 2. So
He's just
I know.
nudging him like there's a person behind him.
Okay. That's better. So you're casting it behind these two guys that are closest
Yeah.
to you? Okay. And so you start your incantation, and as you do, their eyes just get wider and wider, and they're like, "Ah!" And then all of a sudden they get the sensation as they're touched on their backs, and they actually like actively are like panicked. Even more before they're like, oh shit, there's people. Now they're like, oh, shit. Like you can tell that they're like even more panicked. And then they turn, and it's now their turn, and they both had the same initiative, but they turn and just start bolting down the alleyway after their others. The ones who had taken off first continue running, and then somewhere further down, behind some like barrels or something like that, they kind of duck out. From what you can tell, it's at least 70, if not like 90 feet down before they turn out of sight. So,
Hi-ho, Silver!
all right, Bob, they have started booking it.
I return to my Asimar form
Okay. Bonus action.
and coolness. And I turn to Penn. It's like, what is wrong with these people?
Like they don't want to talk to us.
What do you mean, these people?
You know, people like this.
What's this?
You just gestured to all of
It's a pointer verb.
All right. So
Well,
that
I mean,
was your.
it's just strange because it's like they're more concerned about being noticed than anything else. I wonder what they're up to.
Let's find out.
All right.
All right. So do you start making chase after them?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. So because you used a bonus action, Jim, to change back into your Azamar form, you can only do 30. You can only do your standard movement, while Penn can run their full movement. Next turn you can. Your bonus action dash basically acts as extra movement.
Right. So Penn's making good time, and I'm struggling. I'm looking at it, going, God, if I can only get the bronze out of this. Meanwhile, Penn's grabbing the gold.
I mean, maybe silver. They're kind of a ways ahead.
Okay.
All right. You can no longer see the first two of them, and the other two, as they see you gaining on them, they start trying to as they're running, they're trying to knock into stuff and trying to knock stuff into the alleyway. Let's see how that goes. Okay. So the first guy, he's able to knock over some barrels, but as he does, he actually clocks them completely into his compatriot. One rolled a 15, the other rolled a 2. And so it's actually completely gets tripped over and is now prone in the dirt. And as his friend is continuing to run off, he just kind of looks back wide-eyed and is like, sorry, and just gone and kind of jets off down one of the alleyways. And you guys are able to catch up to him with your existing movement. Actually, Jim, you're full. It's your full action, but Shelby, Penn still has their standard action by the time they reach this guy who is basically backing away, but he's butted up against a barrel, and he's just it's not rolling very quickly as he's shoving his body against it to back up.
Whoa, pal. Just take a breather for a second. I'm no one important. I just want to talk to you for a second. Not gonna hurt you, not gonna do anything.
That you know of. Oh, sorry.
And then, okay, so trying to emphasize this, Teller comes out of my pocket and is mimicking my hand gestures on my shoulder, in the same. He's mirroring it, so it looks like the little chipmunk's doing the same. It's okay, buddy.
He's mocking you.
Roll me a persuasion check with just flat persuasion check. Just roll me a flat persuasion check.
15.
The guy looks up at you and just kind of and his voice pitch changes. And as his voice pitch changes, it starts to sound almost exactly like you. As his pitch is changing, his skin color begins to ripple and change. And you watch as protrusions kind of start coming up out of his hair in the shape of horns. And he mimics back to you. I can't remember exactly what you said, but but basically parrots back at you a similar, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm just trying to ask questions.
Well, that's a new trick.
Get it!
You say that?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm thinking it. I'm definitely thinking it, though.
Both of you roll me dexterity checks.
Okay.
Actually, better yet, dexterity saving throws. So add your, which I think for you, Penn, is the same, but actually it's the same for both of you. Neither of you guys have proficiency in.
But I'll take my save over my check.
I was gonna make you keep the original rolls, but it's fine. It's whatever.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So this person who now looks exactly like Penn, you watch as he quickly digs the sand into the ground and then whips sand up at you guys. And Penn, you're able to get your cloak kind of in the way just in time. However, Bob, you take it straight to the face, right into the eyes, oh shit! And he tries to roll himself over the barrel.
Don't like this.
Penn, what do you do?
Well, he's trying to roll himself backwards over the barrel dressed.
He just basically kind of rolled. Yes, he now looks exactly like you. And his voice even sounded exactly like you. And then he kind of was pushing against the barrel, but this time he kicked the sand up, and then he's kind of vaulting himself over. It's like a 55-ish gallon like size barrel.
You know, I don't know this guy particularly, but does this person have the wherewithal to know how to navigate life with a tail? A big tail? A giant tail that's now protruding out the back of him if he decided to look like me?
Had a big old tail to deal with. Come on.
Well,
Let's
and the
see.
horns,
Do
too.
they have the wherewithal to handle the tail? Let's find out right quick.
Well, I also know from if it's just a regular like disguise self or whatever that it doesn't actually affect them. Like they just look like that, but they don't actually like it doesn't change.
Changelings are built different.
Built different. All right.
Built different. Does anyone have an
Let's see.
egg so I can just quickly anyway, gosh, I love that. Anyway, you'll have to find out in a moment, Pen, if they are used to living life with a tail.
And the horns. Don't forget the horns.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do all night. Yeah.
Woof.
Exactly.
So do you do anything to them, Pen? Do you try it? What are you doing?
I would try and jump at him because now I just want the dude to stay still.
All right, roll me a acrobatics check as you kind of vault yourself over the barrel because you're already standing, so it should be pretty easy. It's low DC, but let's just make sure you don't completely fumble it.
Nat 20!
Hey.
All right. So
Success.
not only do you step up the barrel, you kind of vault straight over this guy and are able to turn around and be like, hey.
Let's just chat. Let's have a chat.
And his eyes are crazy wide and he's now backing, he's now on this side of the barrel backing and he looks over and sees Bob staring. Bob, what do you do?
Okay, I have covered ground. So what is my distance to backing guy who just glanced at me?
There's a barrel taking up about a roughly a 5-foot space between you and them. So you basically can man that side of the barrel and he can't really get over. The alley is only about 10 feet wide.
Okay, cool. In that case, I will secure his exit and keep a very close eye on this individual because there are two of them that look alike, and I need to keep up with which one is which.
Okay.
Oh, that's fair.
In your own voice, Pen, they talk to you and they're like, I didn't do anything.
I didn't think you did, pal. I haven't done anything either. I just wanted to chat about, life, stuff. Why do you have 4 identical clones? Why you've been pacing outside the guardhouse for the last 4 rotations of either all of yourselves or one of you or something of the sort. Just talking. I have 0 authority in this area, believe me. Just talking.
Looks at you. Were you at the burning tower?
Briefly.
Did you burn the tower?
No.
Down.
I don't have anything I could use to burn it.
Looks up. I'm actually trying to figure out where to go with this.
See,
Come on, DM, make a storyline.
DM problems.
Well, I'm realizing that there's 3 different ways this can go depending on how he reacts, and I'm trying to figure out how he can react because this was not a character I was expecting you guys to get as involved with. Of course.
You made the same dude walk by 4 times. What am I supposed to do? Not engage?
It's like he
Well, you
has a
shouldn't have
neon
given
sign
shade.
over him.
Actually, here's this. Easy.
Come on over here.
I don't have to make the decision. I'll let random number Jesus make the decision.
Okay.
Pen,
Perfect.
roll me some percentile dice.
Okay. 68%.
He begins to shift again, away from looking like you, and begins to look like a very, very toothy goblin. And he shrinks down just a bit, and his clothes no longer fit him as well, and his voice changes to a
Crackly. Sort of. Menacing. Would you like to be at another burning building?
Pen's gonna reach out, and how big is this goblin?
It's because of changelings. It is a changeling, but your characters don't know this. He can only shift down he can shift down to a small. So yeah. He's probably 3.5 feet, 4 feet tall. His clothes are kind of baggy on him.
So I'm pretty big. I'm gonna reach out and now I'm concerned. Now I'm very concerned. I'm just gonna grab his throat.
Okay. Give me an athletics check, and this is opposed.
If you roll high enough, he goes, harder, daddy.
Oh no.
Sorry, I hadn't said anything in a while. I felt like that was an opportune moment to just kind of
Sam,
butt
off
in.
the top of your head, ties go to the defender for athletics checks?
Yeah, meet him or beat him.
Okay. Well, you said meet him or beat him, so that's tie goes to the winner, or tie goes to the attacker.
No,
Meet
if you're
with-
defending, if you're contesting against it and you meet
Oh,
their, or you get higher, then you break
Okay.
out.
Meet with 2 E's, not like MEAT.
I mean, it could be a little column A, little column B. I'm sure there's a charisma check in there somewhere.
Apparently, they got grabbed by the throat, so you know what I'm
Remember,
saying? Whoever's into it.
So as you try to grab him by the throat, it's surprisingly strong for a creature its size, as he just kind of like deftly kind of pops your arms as you're reaching for, and like pops your arms across and kind of gets behind you.
Now, you don't want to be on the wrong side of history.
Penn narrows his eyes and looks at him with his deeper voice and goes, "What is that supposed to mean?"
Let's just say that we are actually on the right side when we do the things we do.
And then he begins to sprint down the alleyway again, because he's now behind you.
Muscular?
You can do give me, if you want to try to catch him, you can give me a dexterity check.
Dagger saving.
Check. It doesn't make a difference, actually. Your scores are the same, so.
8.
You reach back to kind of get him as he starts heading down, and he gets about 30 feet out. You manage to miss. But as he's running, he begins to shift again, and this time has a very fair, angelic face that doesn't look very unlike a particular Bob who's standing only a few feet behind you. And he looks back with a grin. You
But
guys
it's
can
my
still-
turn.
It is now your turn.
I'm going after the dude. We running this halfway down now.
Bob, is now your turn.
I'm going to cast an ice knife spell.
Okay. Let's kick this off. Let's go.
All right,
Cast
cool.
the ice knife.
All right, so let's roll to see if I can hit him. Play nicely, computer. Play nicely. We rolled a 10 to hit.
A 10 to hit. You watch as the bolt of ice just kind of like passes by him.
No,
And-
I do not, because the ice, once it gets to its destination, even if it misses, explodes, and the intended target takes 2d, or actually everything within 5 feet of the intended target takes 2d6 of cold damage. That's on a successful dexterity saving throw.
Are
Okay,
you
I guess he
pooping
needs to
my
make a dex-
pants with a 2d6 on a miss?
Yep. There's a reason I picked that spell.
I like
What?
it.
And that's a level 2?
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
What's the
Guys,
DC
level
on?
1.
What's the DC on the dexterity save?
14.
What's a
that is
hit?
19 on the die.
Okay.
So how much
Okay,
damage
here,
did you take?
real quickly, because this is intriguing, I'm going to actually read the description here so that everybody gets a feel for it and I'm not misinterpreting. Okay, you create a shard of ice and fling it at one creature within range, 60 feet. Make a ranged spell attack against the target. On a hit, the target takes 1d10 piercing damage. Hit or miss, the shard then explodes. The target and each creature within 5 feet of it must succeed on a dexterity saving throw or take 2d6 of cold damage.
Well, he
Sounds right to
succeeded.
me.
So that
He
means that
did.
doesn't take any.
He did succeed
Yeah,
the
so
saving
he-
throw.
Yeah, so he doesn't get the cold damage.
However,
But I did have a shot.
You did have a shot at him. So you watch as this bolt just kind of like passes right by, and as it pops, kind of like ducks out of the way, kind of parkour style, just like Matrix slow motion as the shards just kind of, and he keeps on running. You still have a move action.
Pursuit!
All right, clamber over the barrel and off you go. Penn, you're after him as well.
Yes.
All right, do you do a full run, or do you like try to cast, like run and also cast?
Wait, hang on. Let me read this description before I decide to cast. Yeah. All right. Now I'm I'm gonna cast magic missile.
Yes.
Auto hit. Gotta love it.
Mhm.
Yep.
But I want to aim it all 3 shots towards like one leg.
You're aiming. You're doing targeted shot for the leg.
Yeah.
With, I'm assuming, the hopes of tripping them.
Sweep the
Just
knee.
taking their leg off, one or the other. I can get questions out of him if he's dying.
Okay. 1 second. I have to actually set up this as a potential real encounter. All right. Okay, so you fire off your bolts of energy, and you watch as they kind of like fan out of your hand, focus in, and they come in at this guy's leg. And as they go to hit, let's see if he. Normally, you're not really making trip attacks with magic missile because while it is force damage, give him a save, and that is a 14. I'm gonna say that he kind of takes him in stride. He's not enjoying the fact that he got hit. Roll damage.
1, 2, 3.
Oh my gosh, you rolled max damage on all 3 of them.
I did.
Save those rolls.
Awesome.
Can she
I
bank those?
love
Can
it.
she bank those
Fantastic.
rolls real quick?
Liam, I have a question. We had something for like 3 nat 1s, 3 nat 20s. Do we have anything special for the first person to roll max damage 3 times in a row on their spell?
No, granted, statistically on a D4, it's significantly more likely than any of the other ones, but
Right,
still
but
rather.
still, this is momentous.
It should be automatic death.
Oh, that's triple crits. We've established this. We're not gonna. No.
Automatic death.
However, it is going to change what I was having planned with the whole tripping mechanics because,
Now his leg's blown off.
You said it. That's where I was going. But yes. So what was originally just going to be just 3 bolts of energy just kind of like popping at him, and painfully he would continue moving forward. No. Instead, it's pop, pop, pop. And as they hit the back of his calf repeatedly, all 3 shots, on the 3rd one, there's a pop of the energy hitting him, and then there's a distinct crunch noise as the force damage appears to have, he trips, and you watch as his leg is now no longer straight. And as he looks at you wide-eyed and wailing in pain, he shifts again from the Azamar form to a what appears to be like a small half-elven girl child, and just kind of sobs.
So
and you see this
he
little
looks like a
half-elven girl child
with a broken leg,
sobbing, crying.
Wait, just broken? We didn't get to blast it off? That's rude.
Time to put that kid out to pasture.
Blow his leg off.
Pen, roll me some
Guess you can't
percentile
race
dice.
no more, sweetheart.
Roll me some percentile dice, Pen.
It's terrifying.
Is though?
It is. And walking up on someone being like, guess you can't race no more, sweetheart.
25.
Okay.
You're not going to be doing any square dancing anytime soon.
All right, roll me a d4.
1.
That's it for now. She is now there in oversized clothes, crying, clutching her leg, tears just pouring down her face. You can see she's missing a tooth. Looks like a little snaggle tooth. Her ears are a little pointy, and her blonde hair is just kind of like covered in dust and grime, and she's just crying like, "Why would you do that to me? What did I do? Why would you do that to me?"
Pen just snarls at her.
You what?
Pen just snarls at her. Full teeth and everything. You were trying to run away when I was trying to ask questions.
Jim, do you do anything?
Have I arrived on the scene?
You have arrived on the scene.
Cool. And lying prone, begging for water or making
More like sitting, clutching, like the scene in Family Guy where he hurts his knee and he's like, but instead it's like a mangled calf, and it's there's not blood, but it's definitely broken and very painfully, obviously broken, and crying small child. Where there
Okay,
was-
so as I am getting up to this person, creature thing on the ground doing its elven impersonation while making me think of Family Guy, I'm just going to kick it in the leg before I even stop.
Okay,
What is
They're-
your life? You're a cleric.
no, he's not
Yes,
a cleric.
He's a druid.
He's a druid.
Well, that makes it even worse.
Not
The
necessarily.
balance, the nature, the balance of nature.
There's
everything.
balance. We just gotta disrupt it the other way. We'll make
That's-
the balance. We will balance the force if we have to get rid of the entire other side of the force.
Does the fox apologize for eating the little mouse? Does the cat feel remorse for eating the robin? Balance must be maintained, and sometimes it's not cuddly.
Sometimes it's force. That is the path of a druid, is to force the balance.
All right.
Yes.
Roll to hit an unarmed strike.
Make me run, damn
I
it!
think you mean roll to hit an unarmed child.
It's not a
There's
child.
no child.
An unarmed, injured child with a broken leg in the broken leg.
It's not a child. Okay, please roll. Please.
It's
Just...
going.
It is rolling.
It's
It's
Okay.
just taking its sweet
Oh,
time.
okay. Okay, there it is. Cool.
So
Rolled an 8.
you were aiming for the broken section of leg.
Yeah.
However, you
Missed.
missed. Yeah, they flinch, and instead you actually like catch them like solidly in the hip, and it's another crunching noise because you've just kicked a small girl
What?
firmly in the hip,
Cool.
and her eyes get even wider as she wails out in pain. How much damage? Roll. Is there a roll for damage, or is it a flat damage for
I have to roll for damage. I have to roll. Let's see. What is...
your unarmed
Is-
strike?
Oh, it's 3 points undefined.
Okay. 3 points of bludgeoning damage. Cool. You feel a nice distinct crunch underneath your
Ugh.
foot as you kick solidly in the hip, and she continues to cry out and wail like, "Why? Why are you beating me? Why are the two of you beating me?"
At this point, I'm going to position myself next to her and grab her tunic and bring her up to my face.
She looks at you, tears pouring down her face.
Stop it. I can do this also. If you will remember, I was a dog a moment ago. Stop it.
Stop crying. Usually works with small girls. Just quit.
Exactly.
Try shaking her by the shoulders.
Roll me.
Mhm.
Are you trying to intimidate her into stopping, or are you just trying to just command
Nope.
her to stop?
I'm just communicating to her in a very direct fashion that I know that this is a transmutation effect, and I also know that once she transforms from one shape to another, she has the ability to regain hit points. And this is an innate trait, and she needs to stop pretending so that we can have a fair and legitimate conversation.
The crying does stop, and she glares at you and begins to shift again into the goblin form.
Like, all right, now.
No. You don't understand. If I turn back into the girl and keep crying, who's the real villain?
Still
Me?
you.
The helpless
Still
little
you.
girl.
Still you.
Prove it.
And turns back into the little girl again and just starts wailing even more. Why? Why would you break my leg?
At this point, I put my hand over her mouth. I lean forward.
Are we
And
kidnapping?
No. And I whisper into her ear, "Dead little girls are not victims."
What the fuck? What?
On that crazy note, we're gonna take a quick break.
No. Hello.
We will just continue with this.
Okay, we're not taking a break.
Ending on that.
Because I thought it was like a crazy cliffhanger, but I guess we're just gonna friggin' go with it. All right, no.
I'm terrified, DM. I can't take a break in this state. My anxiety shot through the roof. I think we're partying up with a psychopath.
Maybe just a little bit.
Is that? Can I quote you on that? Dead little girls aren't victims.
Yeah, you could.
Whoa.
This is terrifying.
Oh,
Brilliant. This is magic being written.
oh, I just got the bad chills.
And as she continues to cry, people do start peeking their head out into the alleyway.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh, okay. At which point we're gonna have to. All right, so there's folks showing up.
They're starting to raise a ruckus. There's a crying, screaming girl.
Okay, now that I whispered that in the ears where nobody could hear, I'm going to maintain a gaze on the little girl's eyes. I'm going to pick her up, and I'm going to very comfortingly say, there, you fell. You should not have been playing on the roof of the building, but we will get you to a doctor. We will get you to a healer. You will be treated. Now, just relax. You're in good hands. At which point, I will pick her up, and we will start moving towards the center of town.
Or back to the guard house.
Yes.
Roll a deception check.
I can't deceive myself, much less anyone else.
As the girl continues to struggle in your arms.
I know it hurts, but you'll be so much better. It'll be better in a moment. We're going to get you to a healer.
I was expecting it'll all be over soon.
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
That was a 6 on the deception.
Oh.
Seems legit.
Yeah, that is legit.
As you are heading down out this alleyway, do you head back the direction you guys came, or do you head continuing down roughly the direction that you guys had been running?
The one that looks the least populated.
Currently, that would be back the way you came.
That's my vote. Unless Penn has an objection, let's go that
No,
way.
I'd be going with less popular.
Okay.
Sweet.
And as you guys are running, and this little girl is wailing in your arms about how much it hurts, and why would you break her leg, and like what sort of monster, I'm dying, like screaming bloody murder at the top of their lungs, just wailing and wailing. And I can't keep maintaining that voice because it's shrill and hurts my throat.
Yes, yeah.
More and more people are starting to like poke their heads out as they're going like, what are you doing to the girl? What's happening? Excuse me, as you pass. And like as you cross into the alleyway before you had turned and started chasing these folks, you see 3 heads peek out into that alley, and they all look the same, and they slink their heads back in.
Ooh, let's go that direction.
Yep.
And now there's people starting to like kind of sort of follow and look down the alley as you're carrying this screaming child who's
As the
like,
kidnapper runs with the screaming child.
Basically, yes, as the kidnapper runs with the screaming child, like, hey, you can't be doing that. What's going on?
Why don't I have anything that can shush this?
I've got something that will shush it, but it'll shush it permanently, and I'm trying to avoid that.
Seemed like a
Stuart's just like,
idea.
who the hell are you people?
As easily as Renningham was gagged, I think apparently they're just all over this world. And so you can find like a loose sock
Anywhere.
Wait, no, okay, so Ben takes off his sock in order to make this child silent.
Oh no.
I'll say Bob spent the whole first 2 parts of the campaign
Finding a sock.
Exactly.
and we learn he was just looking for a high quality gag.
Oh God. There's a quote.
Bob, do you still have that sock in your pocket?
What?
Or are you just happy to see me? Come on!
Making it worse.
Come on!
No, they're making it better. Infinitely better.
No, are they really?
Okay.
I mean, it's a kidnapping.
Okay, concerning the socks, there's a sock in the pocket. I didn't make any plans for it, so somebody call high or low.
Hi.
Okay, let's see. Let's see what shows up.
What's in my pocket?
Yeah, pretty much. Should be a D20 showing up. There it is. Oh, we rolled low.
Yep.
So no sock.
Instead, you got what? 30 feet of hemp and rope and a long knife?
Yeah, but I smoked the rope. It's made out of hemp. Come on.
A black garbage bag.
Must be a shill for the cotton industry.
Oh yeah.
So you're having a hard time finding the sock?
Yeah. And besides, it's probably not clean anyway, so that's really kind of gross.
Sorry, you're okay with, apparent child murder, but you draw the line at using a dirty sock as a gag?
Murdered! I didn't see anybody murdered.
There is a difference between threatening to do something and doing it. The whole idea is to create this sense of fear so that you can gain compliance.
Would not using a dirty sock convince your hostage that you're willing to take more drastic action?
It's
you know
not
what? That
the
sounds
threat,
wonderful.
it's the
Penn is gonna reach
implication.
into his own boot,
Yeah.
pull off
yeah.
his own sock, and shove it inside the little girl's mouth.
He's
Alright,
not
okay.
going to actually gag this small child, but the implication is.
That he would actually do it. It creates the illusion of fear. It's like going to a scary movie. You know the movie can't get you, but you're still scared anyway.
Well, it sounds like Penn just did it.
Oh, really? Cool.
Correct.
All right.
Penn pulls off their own sock and just shoves it in the girl's mouth.
In front of all of the watching people.
No more.
No, we're carrying her between the two of us. Let us do something.
It was a band-aid. It was a bandage. We're trying to like staunch the non-existent blood flow. It makes perfect sense.
Absolutely. It's a thick sock.
Now they're sounding like Ren.
And she's looking around at anyone who, like, she can gain purchase of eye contact.
Wait, she's a small child. We have her in our arms.
I know, she's squirming as much as she can to try to, you know.
As a trivia, being a small child, how much does this thing weigh?
About 60 pounds.
So about what a small child would weigh.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Well,
What a
no,
surprise.
because, yeah.
What
yeah.
small child weighs 60 pounds?
I was gonna say, wow, that's really heavy.
Like a fifth grader? My lord.
Well, I'm trying to find a way of justifying that. Give me a moment. I think it's a relative thing. What an individual chooses to see as being small. Small compared to like a linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's not going to work.
No, I think it's hilarious that you guys really think that you can hide the kidnapping in the middle of an alley with everybody watching you because the child is small.
As you shove a sock into the small child's mouth.
Yeah, like there's no.
Following you, wondering what you're doing.
There's no.
There's a lot of impulse in decision making.
Nope, everything's okay over here. Nope,
We're fine, we're fine.
It sounds so much different from somebody else's perspective. So anyway, we're moving towards these three other heads that look the same.
Yep.
How are we doing on getting there?
You're like 30 feet from where they popped their heads out and then slunk back in.
Cool. So let's continue en route, see if we can at least get a visual on them.
As you turn around the alleyway, the people chasing you kind of slowed down, but from what it sounds like, they might be trying to get in contact with a guard.
Okay, cool.
Considering that it's the other direction was back to the main street where you kind of had came from, where across from the guard setup.
Okay.
And you look down this alleyway, and not only is there no one there, but it's like oddly dark. The way that the buildings are kind of situated is that it's obfuscating a lot of light. So the other one was, pretty normal lit. This alley is rather dimly lit.
Okay, so at this point, I think we've gotten to a point where I can kind of stop and communicate with this wounded quote-unquote child. All right, you are creating a problem for me. At this point in time, we're getting really close to where I'm going to have to make a decision I don't want to make, and that decision is either you or me. Are you going to play nicely, or are we going to continue on this course?
We're not taking the gag out. You can nod your head for yes or shake your head for no.
You going to play nicely, yes or no?
How far into the alleyway did you guys go?
I don't know, like 5-6 feet, just enough to where we can't be seen, from outside of the alley.
Roll me perception checks.
Sweet.
Everybody's watching.
You have concealed yourself from absolutely no one.
7.
Yep, we have concealed ourselves from no one. All right. Waiting on mine.
We didn't stealth. We just perception.
Yeah, it's just
That's true.
perception.
Yeah, 8. It's just an 8.
You guys
I
are the
said-
best at seeing things.
Yep.
So you guys are paying very
Really
close
we are.
attention to the girl in your arms, trying to quiet her, that when she suddenly stops making any noise, and you can suddenly see kind of like a happy light in her eyes, you look and you see that there's 2 people in the entrance to the alleyway. There's 2 more people kind of coming your direction, and you hear a faint noise as a pebble drops from above in the alley, and there's 2 more. Both of them are kind of like hanging from appears to be maybe a windowsill or something, as they kind of like lean down into the alleyway. just kind of perched gently and look down at you. And one of them just kind of whispers, just loud enough for you guys to hear, be like, "Hey, boss, you okay down there?"
And can
Okay, so that was a total of 6, right?
Yes, 6 plus the girl in your arms.
I
Okay.
roll an
And-
insight check?
Say again?
Can I roll an insight check?
What are you trying to discern?
Clearly that we've stumbled literally into the heart of her supporters.
Oh, you don't need an insight check for that.
Okay.
And with that, we're going to pause there and head back to Clore and Theo and Renningham. Gosh, I love when you split the party. It makes for some very interesting interactions, let me tell you.
Should we take that little break right now?
Considering there's only 45-ish minutes left in the whole ordeal, I don't know if a 15-minute break's worth anything at this point.
True.
Pass
Okay.
on, intrepid adventurers. Let's do this shit.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got some more rolls to fail, guys.
Who's failing? This is turning out brilliantly.
It is, and I love it. That's why I want to fail more. All right.
Well, oh gosh, this is okay.
Yep. Good luck.
Yeah, DM, switch the mindset back to the.
I
back to
do.
the
I have.
job.
It's so. Theo and Clore, as you are here standing outside of what appears to be some form of holding area, the guard, the Verdun, the taller one, is like, "Oh, hello," greets you guys, and I was about to check to see if he had finished his food and was, going to ask for more, need more, or maybe some water or something like that. Is there anything I can get the lot of you? Are you guys going to be here long?
God help.
I see. Looks down to boss, and she's like,
Well, I see that you've been treating him nicely, and I appreciate that. So, would you mind opening the door for us as we are going to have a little chat?
she looks up at the two of you.
Like, you two are going to stay quiet. I'm going to speak first, but you're going to be allowed to be there.
Sounds good.
Gotcha, ma'am. Absolutely.
Hey, and Clore looks at the guard. Since we're going to be making deals, you think we could do this over a nice glass of wine?
I don't know anything about deals, but unfortunately, I do not have wine that is to be served currently. I can get you water. I can get you bread and cheese.
Insight
simple.
check. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good. Let's go.
And he gestures against the opaque, kind of area, and you see as it fades and turns, clearer, and you can now see Renningham standing on the other side.
Let's add a low.
Oh, he Renningham has his back to the clear wall. He is clearly, how do the Brits say, taking the piss.
Are you actually at the hole in the corner taking it, or are you just peeing in the middle of the...
Yeah, no, I'm at the hole. I'm not.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
a monster.
I mean, all right. So
Theo goes from whistling at being impressed with the whole thing to suddenly oh, sorry, turning
So
around.
can I sense that the barrier is kind of now translucent as opposed to opaque?
even better, you get the vision of your own backside in the back of your mind.
I am wildly disoriented by that, and so I just start flailing around while peeing. And after a minute, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I'm back. Okay, so I right myself.
Yep.
And then I'm just like, mother, there's piss all over my pants.
As you're assessing that, the captain, she walks in to the
At ease, soldier.
She says that to me.
yeah.
I s- I say, well, usually it's not a goblin that can get me to a stand at attention, but I guess there was just a chill that followed you in.
It's a
Can
good
I,
thing you didn't
button
shrivel
up my
and
pants,
die.
Oh, it wasn't that cold. And I'm doing my pants up, I guess. Is it a are they buttons? Are they zippers? Who knows?
A tassel is
But,
just kind of tie it, you know.
Oh, just tying it shut. Okay.
Yeah.
Double knot.
Smart.
And so as I turn around and see just this cadre that walked into my cell, I push out with my mind and notice that because I see the Verdan.
Yep.
The other Verdan is there. So I'm like, hey, what is this about? I was just calming down, and now you bring this goblin back.
Before he even, sends any sort of response back,
We might have a deal that could ease this whole thing over. Are you interested in listening?
I've never not been interested in deals. I don't know where you get the idea that I would be uninterested in deals.
The first portion of this deal is that you will acquiesce to the original request of your presence here. You will give a formal statement.
Nobody
I am
requested my
speaking.
presence here.
You will be gagged.
Paused.
DM,
Yes.
Theo leans over to Clore and says, "It's acquiesced me.
Can't
Can't hear you."
hear you.
That means the reason that you were brought here. So he needs to give a statement.
So,
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
that is part one. Part two. All other transgressions that have taken place will be overlooked in exchange for the cooperation of you and your compatriots in investigating some things that have taken place as of late. You will be deputized, and as we are having trouble gaining insight as to the root causes of some things that have happened as of late, as I discussed with your friends, between the burning of the tower in the financial district and the problematic events that took place at the trains, that you and your compatriots were present for in some form or fashion to both events. We are asking that you assist in the investigations in exchange for you not having any other charges pressed against. All we ask is that you give us your statement as to what took place out in the desert.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned two things. One being the reason that I'm here, because no one requested my presence here. I was brought here against my will. The second interesting thing you mentioned was my statement in regards to the events of the desert, by which I'm sure you've already surmised from interactions with my compatriots, and I'm sure they can tell you the reasons that we were there and the reasons that we were brought here, because apparently you know the reasons we were brought here.
She looks at you, looks up the ceiling, looks back at the Verdan, looks back at Clore and Theo. To you, Clore and Theo.
Can I hit him again? Please.
Oh, trust me, I've asked that to myself multiple times.
I don't know that necessarily hitting him's a nice thing to do, ma'am. Didn't we agree that violence would be our last?
No. It's the next resort if he doesn't comply.
So maybe you tell him that you're gonna hit him.
Who's
and
not
you get the
complying?
instructions
I've
after.
answered your questions.
Renningham, would you answer my questions?
I would love to. All I've done is answer questions. Apparently, they're not the answers that she likes.
Precisely the problem.
I
Well,
think,
who knows what you like?
buddy, what she's trying to get at, and we all went through similar questioning, is just simple facts about what occurred when we were all out in the desert together as a group.
It was a bad version of Burning Man, okay?
Wait, there's a good version
Fire
of Burning Man?
Festival.
Heyo!
I
Oh!
was gonna say it's like Fire Festival.
Oh,
Oof, big oof.
But worse.
Clore cautiously walks forward into the room, attempts to walk into the room.
You feel a tingling sensation on your skin as you pass through.
But I pass through.
You pass through?
Okay, eyeing everyone else, hoping that the Verdan doesn't stop him or anything. He says, Renningham, did we have anything to do with the train accident?
No. A train accident?
Okay, wait. When and why were we out on our own in the dark?
We were out, and I don't know why I need to be the broken record in this cell.
Humor.
But we were out on our own in the dark because we were assisting Theo in the quests to find what was. I don't even remember at this point. It's been so long since we had our freedom. A missing cat and potentially some questionable circumstances surrounding was it a woman? And they were a painter? Maybe it was a man?
So Clore leans
I
over
keep
to
these
leans over and
things
says
straight.
under his breath, "What else do you want to know?" Keep him talking. To the goblin.
She just glares up at you, like,
I give her like an expectant look, like, "Come on, I got him
And-
talking. Like, what else do you want to know?"
And Rinningham, after the thing with the train happened, when we settled down to camp, we were helping, right? You were working
Oh.
that whole time. We were trying to help.
As soon as I wanted to run away because I knew that such an event would bring just all kinds of questions, and I didn't want to be involved because people like this, and I gesture to the goblin, people like this have certain prejudices against those not expected to be where they are. And I wanted to get out of there, but you guys were determined to help.
And you wound up helping with us, right?
Yes, I had no choice.
Just look at the goblin like, anything else? And I stick out. Clore sticks out his hand to the goblin. So, do we have an accord? Why don't you tell us where we should start?
she turns to Rinningham.
And why? Pray tell, couldn't you answer these questions earlier?
You weren't asking the right question.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to punch you. I would very much like to. But seeing as that you are about to be deputized, which you have to consent to, if you don't consent,
Oh, Deputy Rinningham, you say?
it means a lot
Do I
less than
get
you
a
think.
badge?
Did you just give him authority?
Oh no.
Orata!
And she does
This is
have
turning into the posse.
these, they look more like bracelets.
They're like stickers.
There's these,
Like
these
you give to touring children.
there are these like copper bands, but as she hands them to you, on the inside there appears to be some sort of inscription on them. It's like,
The guards will know not to intervene so long as you are not actively committing crimes.
Is there a booklet?
No.
What's a crime around here? Apparently being small and loud is a crime.
Don't make me petition for it to be in the bylaws.
Sorry. Apparently being loud is a crime. And I look at the goblin.
Wow.
Aye.
You know, I stand up a little bit taller.
you're still
Um,
about an inch shorter than she is.
Nah, I don't think so. She's wearing boots.
I take mine. Is she handing them to us?
Yep.
I
And
take
it's very
mine,
like
and
dismissively, like,
Can I take them? Can I take the extra one for my friend too that's waiting outside?
Yes.
And then I lean in. I go, "Do you think I could have an extra one for Rinningham? Because I think we all know he's gonna lose this." But I try and say that like just so it's like between me and her, to like a trusting like.
roll me a charisma check.
And as Clore's saying that, I'm putting mine on. I say, this one's a little bit big. Is there a smaller size? I mean,
And
this
as you
one's
say that, it shrinks and
unsized.
tightens to your wrist.
Nice. So my goal is obviously to get an extra one for Bob. So would that be straight charisma or deception?
It's well, it's
Wait a minute. What? Hey, I'm not even there, and I'm getting like these weird magical cuffs things. What crime did I commit?
It's not. Don't worry about it, Bob.
Okay.
Bob, they don't know you
Odds
exist
are
yet.
you're gonna end up in jail in about 3 minutes anyway. So
Very, very good point. Very good point.
Or dead.
For the morgue.
Before you ask this question, Clore, have you stuck yours on?
no, I was like, because you said she handed them dismissively, so I just like have them in my hand, like she
Okay.
reached it over to me, so I haven't put it on yet.
And you said you want what was you
I'm-
asked basically in terms of like Rinningham losing his?
I'm using the guise of Rinningham being an extra problem that we're gonna need an extra bracelet
Okay.
to try and get an extra one for Bob.
She sighs and she's like,
Get more. They're at the front desk.
Thank you. Out. And I mean, we'll just walk out with you then.
she looks at you, Renningham, just shakes her head, and then walks out. And the Verdan, you can get the sense in the back of your head, specifically you, Renningham, of this all could have just been avoided.
And I kind of say,
No, he's getting that feeling from me as well, but just not with any special powers. Just sheer force of will.
you idiot. Yeah.
Well, that's going on though. Theo's over here just like, deputy. That's an odd one.
Oh, it's
Alright.
a big day for Theo.
Oh yeah, it totally is. It really is.
So
but
these
I turn to the Verdan. I'm like, now that I'm a deputy, about that wine.
I don't answer to you. Like at all.
I'm a deputy.
That's arguably
That was
a
an
step,
order.
That's arguably a step below citizen still. And then he just kind of says that curtly and just walks off.
So, and then as he's walking away, I kind of send with my mind, but who are you?
In the back of your mind, you get a faintly warm, friendly feeling.
Ooh.
Aww.
That's about all you get sensation-wise.
That's a nice sensation.
So,
Good vibration.
do you guys stick your bracelets on?
Oh yeah, Theo's is already
Okay.
on.
Yeah, as you do, it as you try to get it onto your wrist, it's like starts off slightly too small, Theo, and then it just kind of like gets over and now is tight to your, and it's almost flush to the skin, but it doesn't feel like it's tight.
I'm waiting until I have enough in my hands because I don't want her to be like, oh, they fit to your arm like by themselves, blah blah blah. So
Well, I
I'm
mean,
waiting
you
until I
still
get all
have.
three of them.
Okay, you're waiting to have. Okay, all right, and so she kind of guides you, and it's a different route to head back to the front, and it feels shorter. And poor Theo is back to being disoriented as you guys don't.
So
I don't
lost.
recognize any of these hallways. Like, where are we even going? Like, why is it that all the noises change? And as you guys are walking, the captain's like,
Well, you see, when we established this place, it was decided that, well, we don't necessarily want people to be able to openly communicate with each other unless they're part of the guard. And so we made it very difficult to make any sort of signals passed around in order to stave off any sort of collaboration between individuals who are being held here. If you were to get imprisoned, their security makes this look paltry.
and she says it with a big toothy grin, and then like just kind of continues on giving their dollar tour as you head towards the front desk. When she gets there, it looks like in this time there's been a bit of a shift change, and there's now a rather dapper-looking hobgoblin standing behind the front desk. Like the mane like hair is like carefully coiffed, and wearing a nice button down with a vest. And hello, what these can do for you? And she's like, oh, and gets another bracelet and
Here. So, the simple version is that you are here to facilitate our investigations into these recent happenings. As such, these bands will help the guards know that you are on our side. Is that understood? Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, of course, if you commit painful crimes, there's not a whole lot I can do for you in the eyes of the law.
They painful
But it
crimes.
should help dissuade suspicion, if that follows. If you're acting suspiciously and a guard questions you, they will hopefully be smart enough to look the other way.
What if a guard's asking suspiciously? Acting suspiciously.
Feel free to report him to me. But if it's a false report, that is a crime.
Now, ma'am, is there a place where we could go to learn about these things that are crimes and aren't crimes here? Like, you gotta
Is there a
write it down
booklet?
anywhere?
I mean, if you wish to go to City Hall and peruse the bylaws in that form or fashion, most people here just seem to keep their nose down.
We're looking more for like a voice recorded booklet.
It's real
Voice.
cool. You just
Like an
press,
audio book.
You press
Played on
a little
1.5
switch,
times
and a
speed.
voice talks at you, tells you what's in the book.
Clever, but when there's, some, 12 volumes of legal text in order to dictate, I don't know if anyone wants to take on that task.
If only there were people that were responsible for learning all that stuff.
I have a
There
pretty
are.
good voice. I could dictate it for you for a fee.
Please don't. Please don't ever speak in my presence again, honestly.
And with that,
She's like, you are dismissed. Go.
and we're gonna pause on you guys. And we're gonna switch back to Bob.
The problem
And
The
children.
kidnappers.
Hey,
The
can I-
problem children.
may I point out something ironic in that while the lecture is being given, you guys shall not participate in any criminal activity.
I was
There's
about to
potential
say.
criminal activity.
Criminal activity.
I don't think that's lost on any of us there.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. All right. Okay, so Penn, we are surrounded. There's 6 of them. What do you think? Is it 6 of them for real, or is it like a some type of?
They also
image
all
spell?
look the same. They all look like that, they look back to being that reddish-haired kind of guy in engineering-ish uniform.
Okay. I guess at this point we look at boss and go, so is this going to be a problem, boss? Just nod your head up and down or side to side. Either way works.
You can see it kind of on the edge of her lips. It's a smile as she nods.
Did you just say a problem for you?
Oh yeah.
And as she says that,
I
the
think-
two that
yeah.
are up kind of high just kind of drop deftly to the ground beside you as the two of you are now surrounded by 6.
I'm going to attempt to surreptitiously cast a spell.
What spell and how surreptitiously?
As surreptitiously as possible, and the spell is, we're going to cast Primal Savagery.
Okay.
Basically, just going to do the first part of it, and we're not going to do the attack part of it.
Okay.
So, would you like me to read that out to you?
Yeah, let's share with the class.
Okay, cool. All right, today's book. Channel primal magic to cause your teeth or fingernails to sharpen, ready to deliver a corrosive attack. Make a melee spell attack against one creature within 5 feet. On hit, the target takes 1d10 of acid damage. After you make your attack, your teeth or fingernails return to normal. There you go.
So, are you going for your hands or are you going for your teeth?
I'm going for the hand that is supporting boss as I'm holding her, so that I have extended sharpened claws to her back.
Give me a sleight of hand check with advantage.
And I'm actually rolling it without advantage. So that's, God, I'm rolling bad. 6, was it +4 for advantage?
No, you roll the second die and you take the higher of the two.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Let's see, I can roll below a 6. Come on, baby. You need a good number.
Oh my
I rolled
gosh.
exactly a 6.
This
Should
is
I
our
take the
half
6? Or should I
Alright.
take the 6?
Take
So-
the 6, I think.
I think I'll take the 6.
DM, we'd like to take the higher of the 6s.
Okay.
6.1.
Yes, we will take the 6 as it's the higher of the two, and
Okay.
you're not very subtle as you
That's cool.
basically gesture with one hand, and she feels the grip, and you can actually kind of see like your fingers extend and the nails sharpen, and the tips of your fingers kind of like shimmer just slightly in the dim light. And as you do that, all 6 of the others around like take another step closer and are basically just all around you.
At that point, I look again at boss and say, "Are we still going to have a problem?"
What's your AC?
It
Oh,
is.
I don't think the answer is going to change.
I don't think it is, but it's going to be 12. Hey, I can always try.
It's a modified 20 to hit.
Oh,
Confirm that
And-
critical.
You take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as the one just basically backhands you across the face, let go of the boss. And the other ones all begin to brandish weapons surrounding you.
All right, I glance over at Penn, and what's Penn's reaction?
A bit stunned for half a second.
Okay.
Just for a second, trying to.
All right, guys, do you really want to do this? As I address the others.
The girl looks up at you, and you can just kind of see that she's just grinning with this gag in her mouth.
All righty. I guess we're going to have to do this then, aren't we?
What it sounds like.
Oh, shit. That's no bueno.
What lesson have we learned about splitting the party?
Yeah, it's never a
That
good
it always
idea.
ends up fantastic.
Oh yeah, tons of fun.
We can always watch Doug go, damn it, not again. Why do they do this?
All right.
All right, so I guess we are stuck going into conflict, and there is no other choice. Do we need to roll an initiative?
Yes, you do. You need to roll initiative.
Oh,
That hurt.
the flow of action is not going to be in your favor.
No,
guys,
it's not.
Sorry is always a choice. Like I don't get it.
Sorry, it's always a choice.
Retreat is always a choice.
It's
Oh.
just a prank, bro.
It's just.
I rolled 3 6s in a row.
All right, so the one standing behind you, Bob, just kind of picks up his sword, and he just is like, the other option is you come with us as prisoners.
How about if we come with you as your guests?
I don't think that's likely. And Boss is just shaking her head, shaking her head, shaking her head.
I think we can do that. At which
Prisoners,
point, I take my fingers that are on the boss's back and just gently tap them on the back of the boss while still holding to see if anybody notices.
Are you trying to be stealthy?
No.
Then yes, it is noticed. And I guess he's gonna take a swing then.
Really? I am not even doing anything, just merely tapping the back of this wounded little girl that I'm
It's okay, he
delicately
missed.
holding.
It's a 5 to hit.
Okay, cool.
Well,
He's
you're
too
outnumbered.
afraid.
You're still holding their boss.
Yeah, so he takes the swing and he realizes as he's swinging, he's like, oh shit, if I miss, I'm gonna hit the boss. And he just like kind of doesn't go all the way through and it kind of glances off your armor. Pen, you're next.
I'd be careful with that. We wouldn't want to hit boss now, would we?
It just kind of glares. What do you do?
I still think we can talk our way out of this.
Working great so far.
Oh, it's working great. It really is. Yes.
I feel like if I do this and it works, I've just opened up Pandora's box.
Cool.
40 dare.
I'm gonna use Toll the Dead.
On.
On boss.
Yes.
Okay.
No avoiding it now.
Boss is injured. That makes it worse.
So they have to make a save, right?
Target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage. If the target is missing any of its hit points, it instead takes 1d12 necrotic damage.
What's the DC?
13?
They fail.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, good.
oh no.
So I get 1d12 though, because it's already missing damage, right?
Yes, it is.
Oh, goody. Okay.
So these spectral bells begin to toll, and you watch as the boss kind of begins to cry as her eyes kind of, the tears that were, kind of on her face before just kind of get slightly stained with blood, and she looks pissed, absolutely pissed, as the bell tolling sound kind of echoes a little bit down this alleyway, and the rest of those surrounding you are like appalled that you would even dare to try and do something like that.
You didn't just dare to do it. We did it. We did it.
here we go.
All right.
Get it, man.
There's not much that you can do in terms of movement, but is there anything else you want to try to do with the rest of your action or the rest of your turn?
Yeah, actually, because aren't Bob and I both holding on to Boss?
Kinda, sorta.
If I move backwards, can I pull Bob with me as I'm pulling Boss with me?
There's not much room to move backwards.
Oh, are they all around us?
Yes,
Are we
you are surrounded. You are surrounded.
Oh. Yeah, then no. I don't need to do anything. Oh, wait, can I... How far... Do we know how far away from the guard station we are? Or do we know the route back at least?
Yeah, it's basically back out the way you came and head straight across back to the street. It's just about a 70 to 80 foot sprint, from where you're at.
Can I tell Teller to run and try and find our friends?
Teller will need to do a stealth check.
Ooh, that hurt.
Ouch.
He's tiny though.
Give him advantage because he's tiny. The first roll was a 4, so let's see what this other...
17!
That's okay.
Better.
Much better. Much better. All right, so you can issue that command telepathically, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you can feel as Teller begins to kind of like scurry down your body and then just kind of like tries to shoot off out to the alley and figure out his way. So we're going to move on to this guy. And does he notice? Freaking nat 20.
Oh gosh.
He's like, where's that thing going? And he's going to take a swing. Well, he's tiny. What's his AC?
10.
Rolled a 9. I was really hoping that it didn't happen. And it didn't. He rolled a 9.
Yay!
I didn't look at much at Teller's character sheet, so it's like, I know that most monsters have tiny ACs, so I'm glad it's at least a 10. Okay. I didn't want to have to kill Teller. Well, actually, it would just poof him back into the Feywild. But anyway. Okay. Well, now that that's passed. So he swings and he tries to get Teller and just totally whiffs it as Teller just starts to scamper off and do
Stop, little buddy.
Teller things. However, this guy does not proceed to follow after. The next guy, however, is standing kind of in front of you, Bob, and he's going to try to take a swing at you now that he has a much easier shot at not hitting the boss.
Can I use the boss as a shield, thus bumping up my AC?
Yeah, is there any reason we can't use it as a shield?
Other than the fact that these guys are rolling like freaking potatoes, he rolled an 11, and your AC is already a 12, so I don't think it really matters right now.
Okay, that's cool.
As he also is like, huh, and he tries to get it, and you're like, no, and just kind of like glance with, just kind of parry the side of his blade with your arm, like, no, fuck you, stop. And now it's your turn, Bob.
All right.
Action economy is not helping them right now, which you'd think it would.
Right?
Penn is standing next to me, right?
Yes.
I'm going to turn to Penn, and I'm going to say very quickly and plainly, hit the deck.
10 ducks.
Sweet. At that point, we cast the spell Thunder Wave. And
Okay.
We'll read that out so that we can all know how this is going to work. A wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 points of thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage and is not pushed. In addition, unsecured objects that are completely within the area of effect are automatically pushed 10 feet away from you by the spell's effect, and the spell emits a thunderous boom, audible out to 300 feet.
Literally everyone just heard this.
Now, when I read that, I interpreted it as a wave, kind of like, not necessarily like a shock wave going from the ground up, but from like halfway up. So
it's more like it kind of just booms out centered on you. So it's radial.
Okay,
well, I say it's radial. It says it's a cube, but it's kind of just booms out centered on you. So yes, even though Penn has hit the deck, Penn will have to make a Constitution saving throw.
The boss is going to fail theirs, aren't they? Because they're restrained.
They are. Well, it's a con save, not a deck save.
Okay, so here's a question. Since this is the first time we've done this in game, and I've given like questionable directions to Penn, assuming that I would actually know how this would work before casting it, should we allow Penn to make the decision as to whether or not she would actually hit the deck under informed knowledge, or just continue with her on the ground?
The most
So
I'd be willing to retcon is whether or not you tell Penn to hit the deck.
Okay.
Because you know your spell's abilities. This is the first time you've used them in front of Penn. They have no context for knowing what you're about to do, how you're about to do it, and what that means.
Okay, that's fair. I'm not trying to hurt Penn, but it looks like this may happen. I may have a heal spell coming up next. Okay, cool. Let's go.
All right.
Con save?
Yep, Constitution saving throw.
Penn's a wizard, and now I'm worried.
Ooh,
And what's
well,
the,
that, Or
Oh gosh. What's the DC on that, Jim?
14.
how many times do you have to do it?
Okay. Roll the damage, and then I'll explain exactly what just happened. Oh my god.
Okay, cool. Oh, it's 8. 2d8, 8. Split it right down the middle. Yeah.
So, as this thunderous wave of energy pops off of your body, you feel the little girl in your hand's body kind of get crunched in your arms with pressure.
Oh no.
And it's like,
What?
it's just for a fraction of a second. It's almost like you can feel her ribs breaking against your arm.
Okay.
And she cries out and gasps, and then just kind of goes slack jaw, eyes wide.
Oh, you killed a little girl.
It wasn't a little girl. Stop trying to make me feel bad.
Don't they change back after they're dead?
Depends on the creature.
In this case, it doesn't change or do anything. So,
Let's not forget now that literally all of China knows we're here.
on top
True.
of that, this is where all unobstructed and like these objects that are lying around, that fully includes the fact that you've just kicked up, you're in an alleyway, and you just created a pressure wave. A pressure wave that's physically wider than the alleyway normally would be. But you can actually,
Oh.
so you now hear this echo ripple down the alleyway, as well as it
Bernoulli
kicks
is
up
tall
a
as anything.
plume of dust that blows out straight into the street, centered on you, Bob.
Okay, next question. Since there's like stuff flying around and it's a confined area, is there a shrapnel issue?
No, not for you particularly,
Okay.
and there's nothing within 15 feet of you like was large enough to cause a shrapnel thing, because you're just kind of in the middle.
Oh.
Like you were only a few feet into the alleyway when you set this off, and so several of the cultists go flying.
Oh, they're cultists.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Several of them go flying. I'm sorry. I just straight up read the stat. It's whatever.
Yeah, I got
They
you.
just kind of go flying, and a bunch of them just kind of like slap against the. You can hear them like whack into the wall on the other side of the alleyway. A couple of the other ones are just kind of like shoved down and knocked prone. And two of the ones that were basically flanking you guys kind of used Penn, the fact that you took 4 damage with that, or no, you took all 8 damage because you only rolled a 4.
Yep, I did.
They kind of used you a bit as like a shield, and then the other one just kind of like tried to get just barely out of the way, but just kind of like braced it. So yeah, 2 of them are looking much better than the rest of them. And then there's the one that's now slack in your arms, Bob. Okay, so the next one is one of the ones that got knocked down the alleyway. He's going to stand up and start hightailing it out of there. One of the ones that is adjacent to you is seeing you, Penn, wounded, right in front of him, and he's like, if you're taking us down, one of you is coming with us, and swings. That is a 10 to hit.
Nope. I'm a 12.
Cool.
12 here.
And then this other guy got whacked into he's one in the alleyway, and there's a plume of dust, so there's a little bit of obfuscation going on, and you kind of see this shadowy figure kind of stand up and then just kind of off into the alleyway. And now we're back at the top of initiative with the other one who went into the alleyway. He's going to also hightail it out. Penn, it's your turn. There's basically 2 of these folks nearby you that you can see. You've just had the absolute crap kicked out of you by a single giant shockwave of energy, and Bob appears to have a limp child in their hands.
Yeah, I'm real worried.
all those people that were kind of tailing them, worried about this kid. Or
Oh
just
yeah, they're now
letting
just
know.
getting whacked with this thunderous
Are
boom.
oh wait.
Plume of dust knocking through this whole alleyway. Just
Are the two of them
Story,
within
though.
5 feet of each other?
no. There's basically one on either side of the cluster of you. I did not have this. This was not like an encounter I was prepared for this session, like at all.
I'm sorry. Did you
Sorry,
invite,
not sorry.
did you invite me to this? Isn't this the way it works?
No, I know that this is how it works, but I'm like, I was gonna make a map for this.
I'm gonna cast magic missile.
At one of the ones you can see.
Yeah.
So pops off 3 shots. Roll damage.
3.
All right, so you pop them all
9
off.
damage.
You pop them all off to the same target.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to, but are you doing the one next to you or the one kind of closer to Bob?
The one next to me.
Okay. Well, he's at 0 hit points, so he is now rolling death saving throws. In fact, he just
Wait, but
damn.
he's like unconscious, right?
He is unconscious,
Like,
yeah. So you basically just pop off these 3 bolts of energy, and you watch as they like pop, and the already like wounded and winded guy just kind of like slumps over to the ground.
Pen just looks at him and goes, "Finally, we have a prisoner to take back."
Woohoo!
All right. So, do you try to move at all, or do you? I mean, there's now
No.
actually space around you. Okay.
Oh, there is kind of space around. No, I think I'm okay where I am.
Okay. The one next to you, Bob, is gonna
Yep.
swing, and can they roll above a freaking 3? Oh my
Nope.
god.
Yeah, baby.
That's a 6.
This encounter was meant to happen. This is justice
Okay.
or
He
vengeance.
rolled a freaking
either or.
3, and so he misses as he's unsure as to what's going on, winded, confused, and takes a swing and just completely whiffs it. Bob, it's your turn.
Okay, the guy who just swung at me,
Yep.
I'm going to extend this corpse and go, do you want this?
Wait, can you just throw it at him?
Yeet the
Can
child.
we yeet the box?
You
Yeet the
may,
child.
you may want to bury this. You may have some type of religious rite. I'm going to turn this over to you if you want it.
And he just kind of looks at you like dumbfounded at this limp child that you're basically simbaying over to him.
It's the boss.
It's a small world after all.
Are you?
Wrong movie.
You know what?
Pretty sure it was in Lion King.
He's gonna.
It's true. It was at one point.
Yeah, he takes you up on that, and he reaches out to get the boss.
And I will hand him the boss. And as he's taking the boss, I'm just going to say, you should run.
Oh, and he's already like hightailing it out, and the dust is, kind of settling, and now you're starting to hear the clamoring of people coming down the alleyway.
Okay. Are we?
You are
at a
now
point
out of
where we-
initiative again.
That was the next question.
I'm
All right.
impressed, guys.
I am going to go over to Penn and immediately lay hands and restore 2 points of hit points damage as a result of healing hands. That will take 1 action. So that's
I'm less dead.
you're in better shape. At which point it's like, hey, how bad off are you? Do you need a heal, or do you need magical attention?
I'm a little better than the halfway of.
So you're feeling pretty bad, but you think you can make it back?
Yeah, we
All
can
right.
we can find something.
All right, cool. You mentioned a prisoner? Do you want to take this guy with you?
Yes.
All right, cool. And question: I can do one more shape shift for the day. Do you think I should stay in this form, or do you think that there's a stealthy value to shape shifting?
I think it might benefit you to turn back into a dog if you can.
Actually, I was going to do a kitty cat this time.
But then the guards are going to question why we have a cat now instead of the dog that I left with.
Damn it, dog! Woof woof. Okay. By the way, I still have this ability to do like acid damage even in dog form because I didn't actually use it. It's just on
I mean, it's only meant to last the 6 seconds
Damn it.
per round.
I was hoping to get that past you. You were so
No. I mean, rule of cool can only go so far. You use it as in part of intimidation or as part of like a scare. That was good enough. Come on.
okay. I'm overreaching. That's fair. So but I can use it later.
Now,
Okay.
as you guys are having this conversation, I'm going to quickly switch back to Theo, Clore, and Rinningham. As you guys are kind of being ushered out the door by the guards and just being like,
Well, thank you, and hopefully we will have some positive conversations soon.
They're really hitting us with a thank you, come again.
Just accept it and
you make
get
it
on
like
our
2
way.
steps out the door when suddenly there's a thunderous boom that just kind of blows tons of dust and stuff out in the air, and the alleyway, like all of like 30 feet from you, just has a wall of dust just kind of shoot across and then hit against the large wall and just kind of fan out. And there's people screaming as they start running out through. And yeah.
I turn to walk back into the
I reach
precinct.
out and I turn Rinningham around. He's like, no, we're deputies, pal. We got a job to do.
We were informed that there was already a job for us to do, and they gave us no information.
Yeah,
And it
we
is
need
with
to get
Simply
information.
going back in to find out what exactly they want us to do.
We need to get information on what they already know about.
All right, you two do that. I'm gonna head that way because there's
No.
something going on there.
No,
We're going to wrap up here at the
that's
booming
where we end.
explosion.
Gonna wrap
As
it with
we
the argument.
maybe, possibly,
Splitting the party
may
again.
chance get the party back together or not. Who knows?
Who needs
As all
Who needs it?
right.
Thank you, DM.
Well,
That was super fun.
no. Thank you guys for once again putting me through the ringer and all sorts of mental exercises that I am going to go and cry about or something. I don't know. Anyway.
It was a beautifully dramatic evening.
Oh,
It was.
yes.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun was had by all.
Last
Except
thing
for
I
the
expected
boss.
for you guys was to, murder a child.
It
was
wasn't
a child
a
and you know it.
child.
Okay, but nobody else knows that, and now you have to explain that.
No, we don't. They have a body elsewhere, and the body has left the cult. There's no child.
But everybody
There's a
everybody
bunch of
watches stuff
witnesses who
aside.
saw you
into a
carving an
child's
injured
mouth.
child off down an alley.
And congratulations, we now have a dead body that's an adult that we can prove was somehow related to the child if we explain it.
Exactly.
At least we have more to our story
Blood
this
test.
time than if we had a child that was dead.
For real.
Blood test.
Also,
Come on, we're
Why-
doing
Yes,
great on
I
our
got
persuasion
Tara.
check.
Why can't Penn just reanimate the child? Like, no, just kidding, I'm alive.
I don't know reanimate yet.
Like, just weekend at Bernie this kid.
Like, you think I wouldn't have done that if I had the spell? That would have been the first thing I'd done.
Just as a point of order, this guy that we have taken, do we need to do a stabilize on him or something since he's unconscious with
No. He's failed all his death saves in your arm, actually, while you guys were talking. So.
That'd be what, the second time that happened? If I had a nickel for each time that happened.
I'm going to say we can leave that decision. I mean, he doesn't look good for sure, but we can leave that decision for next time if you want to really mull it over.
Okay, cool. We just don't want him to die. We want him.
We put a lot of effort into this, okay?
Yeah,
Is it awesome?
we're going to look stupid carrying an actual dead body as opposed to a mostly dead body.
See?
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone. On that harrowing note, everyone have a good night, and we will, I'm sure, talk again soon.
We'll do this again.